This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine, Volume 3. The main focus is on upcoming Dreamcast games, highlighting Evolution 2, Far Off Promise, and Desperia, or possibly D-Scream Zone 2, potentially related to the Evolution universe. Other games advertised on the cover include the golf game Golf Shio Yo, meaning Let's Play Golf, the action game Berserk, Millennium Falcon Hen Seima Senki no Shao, the chaotic shooter Bangayo, and what appears to be listed as Vermilion Desert, although a Dreamcast game with this exact title is unclear and may relate to the Saturn game Vermilion. Further titles mentioned are Chuka Taisenki, suggesting a Chinese mythology-themed game, Virtua Striker 2ver 2000.1, the first-person shooter Outrigger, a Safari-themed game called Jumbo Safari, the soccer management game J-League Pro Soccer Club Derby 2000, Revive, Sosei, which translates to Revive, Rebirth, Super Producer Story, a simulation game, the puzzle action game Choo Choo Rocket, the vertical shooter Gigawing, and Senkao no Senki, possibly meaning Flash of War Chronicles. The cover also indicates a reader ranking of Dreamcast titles, and the magazine is dated November 26, 1999, priced at 680 yen. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future by Capcom. The page highlights the game as a highly anticipated new title, described as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Future Heritage, and a special coupling with the hit arcade game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Screenshots of the fighting gameplay are shown, and a list of new playable characters is featured, including Howlhorse, Pet Shop, Mariah, Alessi, Vanilla Ice, and Polnareff. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future, which was released on November 25, 1999. The advertisement highlights that it is a Dreamcast software title and is compatible with arcade sticks. It also mentions that the PlayStation version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is already on sale and doing well, and that the Dreamcast version includes a Super Story mode, which covers the third part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Berserk Millennium Falcon Arc, Chapter of the Holy Demon War. It announces a pre-order campaign, where customers who pre-order the game at the listed stores will receive a Beharit as a gift. The advertisement lists many Japanese game retailers where the pre-order can be placed and includes contact information and the pre-order period, which is from November 12th to December 29th. This page is an advertisement for a pre-order campaign for the Dreamcast game Berserk Millennium Falcon Arc, Chapter of the Holy Demon War. It mentions that pre-ordering gets you a Behelit. The game is described as a dramatic cinematic 3D action title and was released on December 16, 1999, priced at 6,800 yen. The advertisement also includes website details for more information. This page is the contents for Dreamcast Magazine Volume 3. From November 1999, it highlights the playable demo disc GD Volume 3, which features demos of upcoming titles, including Phantasy Star Online Episode 2 Distant Promise, Death Crimson, 2 Marinito's Altar, Bangayo, Vermilion Desert, Berserk Millennium Empire Arc, Chapter of the Flowers of Oblivion, and Golf Shiyuyo and Okahaushin. The magazine is celebrating its first anniversary with a big prize giveaway. There is a special report on Phantasy Star Online Episode 2, an article investigating new peripherals, and a Dreamcast special report covering anticipated titles like Virtua Striker 2ver.2000.1, Virtua on Oratorio Tangram, Professional Baseball Team de Asobo, Ring, D2, Berserk, and Maken X. This page showcases Dreamcast hot information, highlighting new game announcements including Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Techromancer, Bangayo, Top of the Formula, Tokyo Bus Guide, and Ready 2 Rumble Boxing. The page also contains a game index, listing various Dreamcast titles with their corresponding page numbers, ranging from Idol Janshi o Tsukuchao to Dead or Alive 2. Examples include Gigawing, Soul Calibur, Choo Choo Rocket, and Space Griffin. Furthermore, there's a Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide section, mentioning games covered with in-depth guides, such as J-League Pro Soccer Club, O Sukuru, Revivi, Sosei, Super Producers, Choo Choo Rocket, Gigawing, Space Griffon, Outrigger, and Jumbo Safari. Finally, The Naomi Juku section focuses on arcade games running on the Naomi system, specifically Outrigger and Jumbo Safari. This page celebrates the first anniversary of Dreamcast Magazine with a big prize giveaway. Every week for 4 weeks, readers have the chance to win one Dreamcast console specially designed by famous creators. This week's featured creator for the Dreamcast console prize is Ueku Sagumiko Sensei, and another Dreamcast console prize features signatures from famous creators and is currently being made, labeled as Now Making. Additionally, Dreamcast Magazine is starting production of monthly best cover Teleca or telephone cards, and these cards will feature the best covers from the Dreamcast Magazine. Examples are shown, with Dreamcast monthly best cover the 8th of August Teleca, featuring character art from the game Evolution, Eternal Dungeons, and Dreamcast monthly best cover the 9th of September Teleca, featuring Shenmue. 15 people can win each of these Teleca cards for each month. This page showcases a Dreamcast Magazine first anniversary Dream Present campaign, featuring 12 prize sets for lucky readers. Prize number 4 is a Sakura Wars 2000 Project telephone card, signed by Hiroi Oji, provided by Red Company and Sega. Prize number 5 features Eternal Arcadia, released internationally as Skies of Arcadia, clear files, and Relaxing Hot Spring Element, bath salts, offered by Sega Soft 7 Research. Prize number 6 is a Sakura Wars 2000 presentation pamphlet and special strap from Sega Soft 7 Research. Prize number 7 is a Namco brand rucksack backpack, provided by Namco. Prize number 8 includes Maboroshi Tsukiyo, Phantom Moon Knight, a voice actor signed software and stand, offered by Sims. Prize number 9 is a Super Real Mahjong special set from Seta. Prize number 10 is an accessory disc for Etude Prologue Tears Flickering Heart from Takuyo. Prize number 11 is a handmade Tamamushi plush toy from Wizardry Errand of Dragon Legend, provided by Cymate. Finally, prize number 12 is a Space Channel 5 t-shirt, offered by Sega. The bottom section of the page displays congratulatory messages and signed Dreamcast consoles and cards from various game developers, including Hiroi Oji from Red Company, Sega Soft 7 Research members, and Takashi Yuta, producer of Sega's Atsumare Guru Guru Onsen game. Dreamcast Magazine celebrates its first anniversary with a prize giveaway. Prizes include various game-related items, Spike Out and Outrigger sets, Idol Janshi wo Tsukuchou Heart paperback and seals, a Dengeki Tenshi Taisen Mahjong Shangri-La CD, Shin Nihon Pro Wrestling Tukon Retsuden 4 software, Sakura Taisen 2 fan, Golf Shiuyo software, 6-inch It's Just Right, clear file and tissue, and a Psychic Force 2012 bag. Sega Soft, Jaleco, Marvelous Entertainment, Tomy, Bottom Up, KID, and Taito are the providers of these prizes. Developer congratulations and messages are included from Sega Soft, Sims, Starlight Mary, and Cymate Advertising, wishing the magazine well and mentioning their Dreamcast titles. To celebrate its first anniversary, a Dreamcast magazine is holding a giveaway with various prizes. Fans can enter to win a selection of games, merchandise, and other items. Prizes include 5 copies of the visual novel Mercurius Pretty End of the Century, 10 sets of carrier promotional items, 3 copies of Plus Plum, 5 copies of Frame Guide, 5 strategy guides for Revive, Resuscitation, 10 Super Producers t-shirts, 5 copies of Shin Honkaku Hanafuda, a signed Shikishi board from the voice actors of Evolution 2, Far Off Promise, and 10 copies of the manga anthology, Sega Games Are the Best in the World. To enter, participants must send a postcard with their details and desired prize by November 26th. This page is a topics article discussing the Dreamcast game Seaman and a special Christmas Seaman message kit. The article suggests using Seaman to send heartfelt Christmas messages to loved ones. It highlights that message exchange is a single event, advising players to carefully consider their message. It also raises the question of sending messages to multiple people and the associated costs. The message kit itself includes discs for message creation and sending, and a present disc for receiving messages. The article mentions the kit's limited sale period from December 16th to 24th, with usability until December 26th. The text details several promotional events for Dreamcast games. F1 World Grand Prix for DC had a large-scale event at Suzuka Circuit, coinciding with the Japanese F1 Grand Prix, featuring demos, competitions, and talk shows. A Velfar Memorial press conference in Tokyo announced the game's completion with Sega executives and racing drivers. Zombie Revenge was showcased at the Tokyo International Fantastic Film Festival '99, recognized as a recommended game and featuring demos and related events. Finally, a Sakura Wars activity photo session at the same film festival premiered the Sakura Wars École de Paris OVA, including live music performances, a talk show with voice actors, and a photo session. This page highlights several events and announcements. An audiobook based on Grauman's Birdcage is being released, featuring a handshake event with star Yoshino Sayaka. Sega held a successful signing event for Yoshimatsu, attracting 500 fans. BPS launched the Tetris Club, with a tournament in Yokohama, already boasting 500 members. Nascal. Nihon Falcom will release 3 Windows games on November 19th. The Legend of Heroes 2 on White Witch, Monarch, and Brandish 4 prices and a giveaway were announced. The Morita's Strongest Reversi Japan Championship took place in Tokyo, where even the game's creator lost. Finally, Fujifilm is launching the FinePix PR21 digital camera with a built-in printer on November 20th, offering instant card-size prints. This page covers game news and music reviews. Tokyo Joyopolis promotes the new Sega Touring Car Championship Special Racing Simulator. Cool Borders Burn is highlighted, including live events at Stella, and the soundtrack's availability. News reports that game developer Human, known for Fire Pro Wrestling, applied for conciliation due to debt. Music reviews cover several artists. Ippo's self-cover album, April Fool's Desperado, Andrea Bocelli's Ave Maria, Tatsuro Yamashita's a cappella album, On the Street Corner 3, Erie's new song, The End of the World / Living in Heaven, Mina Tomita's Wind Song, and brief mentions of Stardust Review, Cool Drive Makers, and Yuya Nakamura. This page is about a new Dreamcast controller from ASC2, called the ASC2 PAD Fort, which is a 6-button pad with a built-in rumble feature. It is being released on November 25th and is designed to be similar to a Sega Saturn controller. The article highlights that it is a pad-style controller, but also compatible with arcade stick games, and mentions that it will retail for 2,980 yen. It notes that standard controllers are 2,500 yen, and rumble packs are around 1,800 yen. Suggesting this controller is good value. The page also mentions that unlike other pads, this one does not allow for a microphone device to be plugged in. ASE2 Entertainment developed a specialized Dreamcast controller for fighting games, targeting players who prefer pads over arcade sticks. This 6-button controller, designed with input from Capcom and Namco, prioritizes ease of use and comfort, featuring a light sensor joystick for durability and quiet operation. Unlike the standard controller, it omits analog sticks, VM slots, and other non-essential features for fighting games. Compatible with all Dreamcast fighting games and those supporting arcade sticks, the controller's design evolved through prototypes and user feedback, resulting in a streamlined pad optimized for button presses. This page is an advert for the Dreamcast game Sengoku Turb Fan I Love Deuce Double Entendre, which is known as Sengoku Turb in English. The tagline for the game is, "More than anything, if you like it, you'll get hooked." The advertisement includes screenshots showcasing kart racing gameplay and interactions between characters. There is also an illustration of a unique-looking character with heterochromia, having one blue and one red eye. The game is scheduled for release on December 23, 1999, with a suggested retail price of 4,800 yen. The developer is NEC Home Electronics, and the publisher is Atypical Alchemist's Associate. This page showcases the Dreamcast Weekly Data Station, highlighting the top 10 best-selling Dreamcast software titles. Number 1 is Revive Resurrections, a new adventure title from Data West. Following at number 2 is J-League Pro Soccer Club Create from Sega, a soccer simulation game where you manage your own J-League team. Black Matrix Advanced, a simulation RPG from NEC Interchannel, ranks 3rd. Namco's Soul Calibur is at number 4, praised for its fighting action. In the 5th spot is another Sega title, Pro Baseball Team Create, a baseball team management simulation. Rank 6 belongs to Atsumare Guru Onsens, a Sega variety game centered around hot springs fun. Wrestling action game Tukan Retsuden 4, known internationally as New Japan Pro Wrestling Tukan Retsuden 4, from Tomy takes 7th place. Bandai's Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079, Rise from the Ashes, a shooting game, is at number 8. Climax Landers, known as Time Stalkers internationally, an RPG by Sega, is at number 9. Rounding out the top 10 is Marionette Company, an adventure game from Microcabin, which utilizes the Dreamcast's VMU. The page provides sales figures and short descriptions for each game, commenting on their gameplay and popularity. A Dreamcast Reader's Choice ranking highlights anticipated games. Sakura Wars 3 is Paris Burning, a strategy adventure, tops the list, with secrets promised next week. Chapter 1, Yokosuka, another Sega adventure game known for its magic technology, claims 2nd. Grandia 2, an RPG emphasizing strategic magic use, ranks 3rd. Other notable titles include Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Capcom vs. SNK, Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram, and Skies of Arcadia. A weekly pickup section spotlights Pro Baseball Team de Asobu, allowing player creation and baseball gameplay, and Tokyo Bus Guide, a realistic bus driving simulator. This page features 2 game ranking charts. The first is A Reader's Choice, Port Request Ranking Top 20, showing games readers want to see ported to Dreamcast. Note it. Number 1 is Dead or Alive 2, followed by Knights, Shining Force series, and Biohazard 3, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. Other games in the top 20 include Metal Gear Solid, Panzer Dragoon series, Virtua Fighter 2, Final Fantasy series, and Street Fighter 2, Third Strike. The second chart is the Video Game Income Ranking Top 15, listing to earning video games. This chart is topped by Virtua Striker 2, Verpoint 2000, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Cybertroopers Virtual On Oratorio Tangram Verpoint 5.4, and Tekken Tag Tournament. Other games listed are The King of Fighters 99, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future, Street Fighter 2, 1, Third Strike, F355 Challenge, and Soul Calibur. A weekly pickup title is Emergency Call Ambulance, a Sega game in 14th position. The text highlights it as a popular work simulation game and mentions its challenging gameplay navigating through city streets to reach hospitals. There are also small sections mentioning other games like Baseball Game, Greatest 9 Series, Action Game, Strider Hiryu, and action figure-based game, Spawn. This page is a release schedule for upcoming Dreamcast software and hardware. The software section lists a large number of games planned for release between November 1999 and throughout 2000, covering various genres like Mahjong, Racing with Speed Devils, Action Adventure with Make an X, Fighting with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Action with Zombie Revenge, Simulation with F1 World Grand Prix, and Rhythm Action with Space Channel 5. Titles such as Resident Evil 2 Value Plus, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Crazy Taxi, and Bangai-O are also highlighted amongst many others, showing a diverse range of games coming to the Dreamcast. The hardware section features upcoming peripherals like the ASC2 Stick FT, ASC2 Pad FT, a Hello Kitty-themed Dreamcast set, twin sticks, a fishing controller, a zip drive, a train controller, and a microphone device. Dreamcast Magazine's Readers' Poll Race 41, based on reader votes as of November 12th, ranks the top 40 Dreamcast games. Soul Calibur leads the poll, followed by J-League Spectacle Soccer and Sega Rally 2. A new entry at number 15, Revive V. Sisei, receives a spotlight review. This Japan-exclusive game earned a high reader score of 8.9093. The review praises its simple system, controls, smooth loading, engaging story, and strong graphics and sound, particularly the visuals and voice acting. The game's time-limited events and rewarding trap overcoming also contribute to its appeal. However, the review acknowledges the game's high difficulty, which may not suit all players. Despite the challenge, the game offers depth and replayability, leading to a sense of accomplishment. The core gameplay is adventure-focused, with depth beyond initial expectations. The next page features a Dreamcast Top 78 ranking of software as voted for by readers. It also highlights 3 key games in detail. Sonic Adventure International, ranked 6th. Puru Puru Pururin, ranked 69th, and J-League Pro Soccer Club wo Sukuru, ranked 2nd. Sonic Adventure International is praised for improved camera work, fixing issues from the original Japanese release. One player is quoted saying they finally see the complete form of Sonic and that the 5,800 yen price point is too high, suggesting 3,800 yen would be more appropriate considering the original version is already a year old and being sold for 1,990 yen. Puru Puru Pururin is described as having cute characters but complex rules that detract from the enjoyable puzzle gameplay. One player mentions the game is fun once you understand the rules. J-League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru is highly praised as an engaging soccer simulation where you can play for hours. One player highlights the depth and strategy involved in team management and gameplay. The page concludes with a section listing anticipated upcoming software releases. This Dreamcast page features previews, reviews, and reader engagement. Langrisser Millennium receives a 6.66 review score, while Space Griffin gets a 6.0, noted for improvements over the PlayStation version. The page also ranks Dreamcast peripherals and games based on odds. Reader opinions are shared, including requests for a Sega release and console-themed accessories. A contest is announced, challenging readers to predict the ranking of Death Crimson 2, Mara Pirate no Izumi. Another contest encourages participation in a reader race with software and hardware prizes, including an arcade stick and visual memory. Finally, Dream Horse Ticket 99 Internet, a horse racing simulation, is previewed, and winners of the previous contest are announced. This page is a Dreamcast soft review page featuring 2 games. The first game reviewed is Speed Devils, a racing game. It supports 12 players and is priced at 5,800 yen. The average review score is 7.33. Reviewer comments highlight the exhilarating speed and simple controls, with one reviewer noting the fun of drifting and shortcuts in courses that feel like roller coasters, adding to the sense of speed. They praise the abundance of car customization and the realistic weather effects that impact gameplay. Another reviewer enjoys the sense of speed when using nitro and the unpredictable events during races, appreciating the rule-breaking aspects and feeling of freedom. The overall feeling is described as refreshingly fast and enjoyable. The second game is Tetsuman Menkyo Kaiden, a mahjong game. It's Trongen. It is for 1 player and also priced at 5,800 yen. The average review score is 6.66. Reviewer comments describe it as standard mahjong without flashy, focusing on calm gameplay. It is noted that communication battles are absent, focusing on solo play. The game's appeal is described as aiming for the top position and obtaining rank certifications. One reviewer finds the CPU to be quite strong and recommends it for players starting mahjong, highlighting the rank certification system as a key feature. Another reviewer mentions the game is for those who want to enjoy mahjong slowly and deliberately, emphasizing the realistic elements. They also appreciate the detailed functions for studying strategies and improving skills in practice mode. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast version of Koei's historical simulation game, Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Storms. It emphasizes the game's evolution from previous installments, highlighting strategic depth and improvements. The game is priced at 9,800 yen and set for release on December 16th, as shown with in-game screenshots. This page is a special preview report for the Dreamcast game Evolution 2 Far Off Promise, known in Japan as Shinki Sekai Evolution 2. It highlights that 95% of the game is complete and details the adventure of a young boy adventurer, Mag. The game is an RPG where players explore ruins, focusing on the mystery of a lost civilization. The battle system has been improved from the previous game. The story is self-contained, so you don't need to have played the first game to enjoy this sequel. The page describes the gameplay loop as centered around the continent of Paldea, where Mag and his companions explore ruins based from a town hub, completing quests and returning to town. It outlines the game's progression from town interactions like gathering information and buying items, to dungeon exploration with monster battles and item hunting, and using the Archaeological Research Institute Societe for job requests and item appraisals. Game data reveals the game is from ESP Sting, scheduled for release on December 23, 1999, priced at 6,800 yen, 360 Dreamcast points, supporting 1 player and 1 VMU memory block, with 10 blocks of save data. The page showcases screenshots of in-game events, Battles where characters like mag, linear, and chain fight using ancient artifacts called frames as weapons, and scenes from towns and dungeons to give a feel for the game world. The story begins with Mag, a relic explorer, being summoned to Museville, the capital of Société, by the Ancient Civilization Research Institute Society. On the way, a robbery orchestrated by Calcano occurs on the Continental Railway. Mag confronts Calcano over a treasure that Société also desires. Arriving in Museville, Mag and his group, including a guide named Nina, settle in a hotel. The society chief explains their need for the treasure and requests Mag's assistance in exploring Blaze relics, providing funds in return. The introduction highlights 4 key characters: linear cannon, a heroine, grenade, a reliable butler, and chain gun, a treasure hunter. The narrative suggests a quest involving ancient relics, confrontations, and alliances as Mag navigates Société's objectives. Museville serves as a vital preparation hub in Evolution 2, Far Off Promise. Players can utilize several facilities to aid Mag's adventure. The bar provides quest information, while the Society, Guild, offers quest reception, dungeon insights, and item appraisal. The hotel functions as a player's home, allowing party adjustments and free item storage. Outside of town, the Tower of Disappearance provides a dynamic, auto-generated training dungeon. Within the town, the shop offers general goods, and the item shop specializes in recovery items and cures. The frame modification shop allows weapon enhancements. A new lottery shop offers chances to win prizes, and street stalls provide cheaper recovery items. Exploring these facilities is crucial for success. This page is a dungeon guide for Evolution 2, Far Off Promise, detailing the exploration of the Blaze Ruins, the game's first dungeon. The guide highlights the scenario-driven dungeons, a departure from the previous game's auto-generated system, emphasizing the enjoyment of puzzle solving and trap avoidance. Players can use a frame to destroy objects and find hidden items in rooms, giving a sense of treasure hunting. Dungeon exploration is integral to the story progression, with new ruins appearing as the narrative unfolds. The guide showcases gameplay mechanics, like destructible objects that reveal items, doors that require switches to open, and hidden floor traps that inflict status ailments. Finding treasure chests scattered around the dungeon is a key aspect. Characters level up through combat, becoming stronger as they defeat monsters. The page also introduces chain skills, specifically Double Blade and Karaka, and provides a preview of common enemy types found in the ruins, such as flying eyes, armor beetles, and bats, noting they all have unique attacks. This page showcases Virtua Striker 2, version 2000.1 for the Dreamcast, highlighting its upcoming release. The advert promotes the game with the tagline, "Your home TV monitor will burn hot with excitement," and announces a special Dori Kaga report, indicating the game is over 90% complete. The page focuses on the International Cup mode, promising an in-depth introduction this week. Game data reveals it's a 12-player SPT soccer game, requiring 12 blocks of memory, and supports VGA, VM, and arcade stick. The release date is set for December 2nd, priced at 5,800 yen, 300 points. Screenshots show in-game action, emphasizing the stadium atmosphere and player models. This page is an advertisement for Virtua Striker 2, version 2000.1. It highlights the game's global scope, stating, "Fight the whole world," and "This is the world's strongest 32 nations." The page lists the 32 playable national teams categorized by continent: Europe A, Asia, America, Africa, and Europe B. These include teams like Italy, France, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Argentina, Nigeria, South Africa, Germany, and England. The text describes the game as being based on 1999 international match data, faithfully recreating players and formations, and encourages players to experience heated matches at home with their Dreamcast, choosing one team from the 32 strong nations. Screenshots of gameplay and a player character are also featured, showing off the in-game action and graphics. The next page is a preview of the International Cup mode in Viva Striker 2 Ver 2001.1 Netherlands. This mode, exclusive to the Dreamcast version, allows players to select from 32 national teams from around the world and compete in a tournament. The page outlines the 4 steps of the International Cup. Cup 1. Team selection. Players choose their team from a world map, divided by regions like Africa, Europe A, Europe B, Asia, and America. Cup 2. League and match determination. Selected teams are divided into 8 groups of 4 teams. The page shows examples of group matchups and a calendar indicating the match schedule within a group. Cup 3. League match results. After all matches are played within the groups, the results are displayed. The top 2 teams from each group advance to the knockout tournament. The page shows an example of group results and the point system. Cup 4. Tournament entry and championship. Page sheet. The top 16 teams from the group stage advance to a knockout tournament to determine the ultimate champion. The page highlights the tournament bracket and shows Netherlands as the winning team, with Argentina in second and Japan in third place. The page also briefly touches on configuration options, allowing players to customize settings for both International Cup and arcade modes, such as halftime duration and whether to use a V-goal rule. This page is a preview of the Dreamcast version of Virtua Striker 2 version 2000.1. The article highlights the game's enhanced realism and immersive qualities, emphasizing that the player movements and formations are more refined in this installment, creating a realistic football experience like watching on TV. The feature focuses on the International Cup mode, a new addition to the Dreamcast version. According to an interview section, the developers aim to replicate the experience of actual international matches, adding depth beyond the arcade version. This mode introduces new gameplay systems, such as offside rules and yellow/red cards. The developers are in the final stages of adjustment and hope players will enjoy the more realistic and immersive international matches. Another interview section discusses a phantom team and a training mode idea that was considered. This idea involved a player named Toku-chan, who appears in FC Sega games, and who would fall if the player held the ball too long. This concept was designed to encourage quick passing and skillful ball control, but due to time constraints, it might not be included in this version. The developers express hope to incorporate such innovative modes in future iterations of the game. This page is a preview for Network Battles and Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram on Dreamcast. It highlights the excitement of online battles available from December 9th. The article reports on experiencing network battles, explaining how to access the network versus mode from the main menu, and set up for online play. It mentions features such as checking battle records and customizing communication settings. Screenshots show in-game menus for network setup, character selection, and actual battles, demonstrating the online gameplay experience. The game is described as an action battle simulation. Connecting online in Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram on Dreamcast is straightforward. The guide details the process: connecting to the server, agreeing to terms, and entering your Dream Passport password. Once online, players enter the easy lobby to find opponents quickly. The game allows switching between easy and expert lobbies. A ranking system based on win records, ranging from candidate soldier to general, is used in network battles. During playtests, the lobby held around 80 players, and the article suggests waiting for challenges rather than actively searching. The expert lobby requires more careful rule selection. The article concludes by praising the user-friendliness, especially compared to earlier online experiences. While there's a slight input lag compared to local play, the excitement of online battles makes up for it. This page is a Dreamcast Magazine preview for the baseball game, which translates to Professional Baseball Team, Let's Play. This action baseball game is a companion title to the, or Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team series, known as Yakyu Tsukuro for short, allowing players to use teams they've built in Yakyu Tsukuro in action gameplay stage. The page highlights that players can now enjoy action-packed baseball matches with the teams they've painstakingly developed in Yakyu Tsukuro. It mentions that the game will feature comical, two-headed characters but with authentic baseball gameplay mechanics. It also emphasizes that Wei can be enjoyed on its own, but its true potential shines when combined with Yakyu Tsukuro, allowing for team data transfer and the use of nurtured players. The game boasts 12 professional baseball teams and 11 real-life stadiums. Screenshots showcase gameplay, team selection, and stadium selection, including Fukuoka Dome and Koshien Stadium. Game data indicates a release date of December 23rd, a price of 5,800 yen, and support for 12 players. It's categorized as an ASPT, Action Sports, genre title. The page details how Yakyu Tsukuro is a simulation game where you become the owner of a baseball team, scout players, train them, and manage the team for 10 seasons, aiming to win the Japan Series.
then takes the players developed in Yaku Tsukuro and puts them into action baseball games.
This page showcases Pro Yaku Team de Asabu, a baseball game for Dreamcast. It highlights the game's new system focusing on different gameplay aspects. The article details 3 key elements: batting, fielding, and pitching. For batting, timing and using the R trigger are crucial, with pitchers throwing varied balls. Fielding offers a unique player perspective, making you feel like you're directly controlling the fielder, assisted by a ball drop marker. Pitching uses the VM screen to select courses and types of pitches, with better curveballs for trained players from Yakutsuku. The page also presents a range of game modes available. These include Open Match, Pennant Mode for a league-like experience, Tournament Mode for up to 8 players, and Home Run Pakun, which is a home run derby mode. There are also original and option modes, and even mention of an internet mode, although details are not fully available yet. Screenshots demonstrate the game's perspective during batting and fielding, menu screens, and the home run derby, all featuring a cartoonish and fun visual style.
Dreamcast game Ring, The Terror's Realm is advertised, capitalizing on the expanding Ring horror franchise. Originating from Koji Suzuki's 1998 novel, the series includes comics, TV dramas, and a theatrical version. The game promises to continue the chilling story of a cursed video that leads to death within a week. Reporter Raiko investigates the video, involving her ex-husband Ryuji and his lover Mai. Mai, with special abilities, confronts the curse to save Ryuji and her son Yoichi. The game explores separate storylines compared to the sequel, Razin. The game is being published by Kadokawa Shoten / ASCII Ace Entertainment. Planned to release this winter for 6,800 yen as a single-player adventure game on one disc. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Ring, Terror's Realm, released in Japan as Ring, The Terror Project. The page highlights the game's themes of virus and curse. It explains that the game is based on the Ring series of novels and films, featuring an original story set in America. The game is described as a D-type action-adventure, emphasizing the dark atmosphere of the Ring world, enhanced with polygon graphics and original movie sequences. The story centers around Meg Rainman, the main character, and unfolds in America, where a virus research incident has occurred at a private research lab. Meg, a researcher at this lab and girlfriend of Robert, gets caught up in a strange incident. After her boyfriend Robert's death, and other researchers dying on the same day after seemingly playing a game program called Ring on their PCs, Meg investigates the mystery. The gameplay involves exploring both the game world and the real world to gather information and solve the mystery of the virus. Players will need to investigate and fight enemies in a game world where light and darkness play a crucial role. The page concludes by stating that the game intricately intertwines reality and virtual reality. This page is a special preview report for the upcoming Dreamcast game D2 by WarP. The game is described as an action RPG and is set to be released on December 23rd. The page highlights the game's focus on sound and music, emphasizing it as a key element. The included English lyrics, titled Counting the Roses, are credited to Ardo Lindsay for lyrics and music, suggesting a narrative and atmospheric depth. Game data indicates it will be on 4 GDROM discs, is a single-player game, and is compatible with VGA and VMU. The report states the game is 90% complete at the time of this preview. The price is listed as 6,800 yen. The webpage address for WARP is also displayed. This page features an interview with Kenji Ino, discussing the sound creation for D2. The interview is titled, Kimberly's Heart Expression? Counting the Roses. Ino explains that the song, Counting the Roses, featured in the game, is a poem written by Kimberly in the game that becomes a song. He mentions working with Ardo Lindsay, a musician he admires, to create the music and lyrics for this song. Ino wanted Lindsay because of his talent in expressing inner emotions through music and lyrics, feeling he was the best choice to represent the world of D2. He highlights that Lindsay is the only artist participating in this song. The song is intended to be in a simple melody, recorded with acoustic guitar, and aims to provide a sense of relief and gentleness in the game's narrative, especially after intense action sequences. He also mentions another song sung by Parker in the first scene, sung by a voice actor, but suggests it is less significant to the overall emotional impact compared to Counting the Roses. Eno emphasizes that Counting the Roses is crucial in conveying Kimberly's feelings and the deeper themes of D2. The page also includes the lyrics of Counting the Roses in Japanese. This page focuses on the sound and music creation process for games, especially for D2. It features an interview with Kenji Ino, who emphasizes the importance of sound effects and music, treating them with the same care as graphics. Ino reveals that all sounds in D2, from the background music to the smallest effects, are personally crafted by him. He spent an incredible amount of time on D2's audio, exceeding 1,000 hours in total, with 300 to 400 hours dedicated to composing and arranging music alone. He mentioned creating about 50 songs for the game, but only using roughly half. The page also showcases the sheet music for the D2 theme, referring to it as an evolved version of the original, mentioning it was part of an image album called Sketches 2, and was created about 5 years prior to set the atmosphere of D2 for the development staff. Ino considers the D2 theme as one of his best creations, constantly evolving, and links its arrangement style to improvisational coding, and even to the theme from his earlier game, D, known in Japan as D no Shokutaku. This page appears to be an article focusing on the sound design of the Dreamcast game D2. The article highlights the high-quality sound and the effort put into making it realistic, moving beyond just being obsessed with detail. The developers mention using real sound and moving away from MIDI, focusing on the use of live recorded sounds for things like footsteps and environmental ambience, which change depending on the environment within the game. The interview discusses the evolution of game graphics and argues that sound should also evolve to match, as many games still rely on MIDI due to data size limitations. The interviewee, Ino, explains how they carefully crafted the sound, using both live and synthesized elements to create a high-quality audio experience, and adjusting volume levels to enhance the game's atmosphere. The article also touches on the music in D2, suggesting that music is consciously incorporated into the game, especially considering the protagonist is Laura, and the overall atmosphere of the game. The page also includes the musical score for the D2 theme. This page is about the sound in the Dreamcast game D2, focusing on 3 keywords: stereophonic sound, sampling sounds, and sound quality and effects. The article features interviews with members of the sound team, Sato, Uchida, and Shimakura, discussing their approach to creating realistic and immersive audio for D2. The team aimed to create realistic stereophonic sound, where monster movements and sounds are spatially accurate, enhancing the sense of presence. They discuss using sampled sounds directly recorded in the game to achieve high-quality audio, similar to CD quality, for environmental sounds and character actions. They also focused on sound quality and effects, emphasizing dynamic range and detailed sound design for various in-game situations like footsteps on snow, water sounds, and weapon sounds, ensuring that the audio adapts to different environments and actions in the game, contributing to a more immersive and believable world. They highlight the attention to detail, with sounds changing according to the location and situation in the game, like doors opening sounds differing depending on the room, demonstrating their dedication to creating a rich and believable soundscape for D2. The D2 sound team, including Naoki Sato, Tetsuto Shimakura, and Daisuke Uchida, discusses their work on the game's sound design. The interview highlights the president's intense involvement and high standards, pushing the team to create a unique and immersive audio experience. His meticulous approach, including bringing in studio equipment and creating sounds personally, presents scheduling challenges but results in high-quality sound. They utilize technologies like ADX for sound compression and focus on dynamic range, MA, multi-audio, and SE, sound effects, to achieve the desired atmosphere. They are also refining the loop-based music to the last minute to match the game's feel, aiming for a sound quality that sets D2 apart. The D2 Sansoon at Xmas After event, a prominent Dreamcast techno gathering spanning from 1999 to 2000, showcased a lineup of renowned DJs. The event, touted as a major game-related techno experience, featured artists like Toby, Inoken, Andrea Parker, Hard Floor, Ibizu, Mike Van Dyke, and a collaboration between DJ Spooky and Ardo Lindsay. The event's description provides short bios for a few of the DJs. Mike Van Dyke, known for his diverse musical projects and gaming interests, would incorporate content from the game D2. DJ Spooky and Ardo Lindsay's collaborative work was highly anticipated. Andrea Parker, known for her experimental and dark sound, was associated with acid jazz and the Mowax label. Toby, a key figure in the Japanese techno scene, introduced German rave culture and collaborated with Mike Van Dyke. The next page showcases a live music event called Live PA. It highlights 3 musical acts: Hardfloor, described as techno pioneers known for their TB303 sound and significant influence in the techno world, who are coming to Japan for a Christmas event. Iho, which refers to game developer Kenji Ino, who will be performing a set featuring beat-focused music from his game D2 and will incorporate DJing, also emphasizing the sound quality at the event. And EB200, an artist active since 1996 known for releasing Raven and for remixing game music, including Afterburner and Sega, and has connections with Ino, with live performances known for rhythmic elements. The page also announces the release of the D2 original soundtrack on December 17th and the D2 remix album on December 22nd, mentioning artists like Cold Cut on the remix album. Finally, it advertises a live event on December 25th at Tokyo Bay NK Hall, featuring these three artists, with tickets costing 8,000 yen, and a ticket giveaway for Dreamcast Magazine readers. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Berserk Millennium Falcon Arc, Chapter of the Lost Flower. It highlights that Kentaro Miura, the creator of the original manga, is involved in the script and supervision of the game. The game is described as a dramatic 3D action title based on the Millennium Falcon arc of the manga, specifically the Chapter of the Lost Flower. The preview focuses on the story element of the Mandragora possession, a strange disease where plant roots take over human bodies, turning them into aggressive monsters. The game's release date is mentioned as December 16, 1999, for the Dreamcast in Japan. The article emphasizes the game's faithfulness to the source material and the high expectations for fans. This guide for the Dreamcast game Berserk provides context for the story and characters. Guts, the vengeful black swordsman, seeks to rescue the mentally fragile Casca, once a formidable warrior now known as the Death God of the Battlefield, and aided by the elf Puck. Other characters include Rita, a traveling performer, Yob, a monstrous being, and Lord Balzac, a ruler seeking a Mandragora cure and employing Guts. Dante leads a resistance against Balzac, and Sister Eliza is connected to a cursed village. The guide uses question boxes to clarify plot details. Rita and Yob have a master-servant relationship. Casca's fractured psyche stems from past traumas, including the eclipse. The Mandragora cure's validity, Balzac's true motives, Dante's role, and the possibility of restoring transformed villagers are also key plot points. This page showcases the graphical capabilities of the Dreamcast to bring the world of Berserk to life. The game is referred to by the weapon name Dragon Killer, highlighting the iconic Dragon Slayer sword wielded by Guts, the main character. The text emphasizes the dynamic motion of Guts swinging his massive sword and the visceral dismemberment scenes, faithful to the original manga. Weapon descriptions are included for the bowgun, a ranged weapon described as an upgraded hand crossbow, and the cannon, a powerful left-hand weapon. Battlefield environments are also detailed, featuring the forest, described as a dangerous place filled with monsters, and the Night City, where battles unfold in a perilous nighttime setting, emphasizing the silhouettes of buildings. Finally, the page discusses the Kireta state, or snapping behavior of Guts, representing his Berserk mode. This mode is described as unleashing immense power and fury, transforming Guts into a Berserker warrior, and highlighting the raw, survival-driven nature of his combat. This page details the game Berserk Millennium Empire Arc, Chapter of the Lost Flowers, an action game for Dreamcast. It describes how the game flows between action parts and event scenes seamlessly, with smooth transitions allowing players to immediately act after event scenes, maintaining a good tempo. The game features event scenes that change based on player actions. For example, choosing to push a button during a scene can influence the outcome. Battle results are displayed after certain points in the story, and consumables are replenished, but overusing items can lead to shortages. A new weapon, the explosive grenade, is introduced, given to Guts by Rickert. It's described as a powerful weapon resembling a candy, effective against small to medium-sized enemies, and capable of stopping enemy movements and breaking their stances. The polygon models used in battles are of high quality, comparable to those in movies. This page is dedicated to the Dreamcast game Maken X. The game is an adventure title from Atlas, set to be released on November 25th for 6,800 yen. It's a single-player game requiring 10 memory blocks. The page provides an introduction to the dramatic story, highlighting the impressive polygon models used in event scenes and the immersive sound and voice acting. The text describes the game's opening from the master ROM and introduces key story elements. The magical sword birth event in a research facility involving staff and the director, observed by Kei and Kuu,
which turns chaotic. The first battle is also previewed, where Kay witnesses a murder and obtains the magical sword, embarking on a fight. The final section talks about the flying hull Linkerdon, mentioning Kay brainjacking Andre at the research facility to get information and board the Linkerdon, with an implied encounter with a third party. The bottom text mentions TV commercials are starting 2 weeks before release, and the game focuses on brainjacking mechanics and special attacks. The special Dreamcast Scoop Report section indicates the game is 100% complete. Several screenshots are featured, showcasing gameplay and character visuals. This page is about the Dreamcast game Maken X, a title known for its unique gameplay mechanics. The page focuses on the first battle stage, which is set in the Kanazawa General Art Research Institute. It introduces 3 types of Senkyokai swordsman enemies that players will encounter. The first type is the standard Senkyokai swordsman, a lightly armored swordsman who uses quick strikes and jumping attacks. They are described as agile and move fast, so players cannot be complacent, even at a distance. Next is the rollerblade type Senkyokai swordsman, encountered in the elevator hall. This enemy uses rollerblades for high-speed movement, and attacks with kicks and tonfa for a 2-stage attack. Finally, there is the bazooka type Senkyokai swordsman, found in areas like the Research Institute corridor and warehouse. This enemy utilizes bazooka attacks at a distance and close range. Although large and slow, their bazooka attacks are powerful. The bottom of the page announces a new commercial for Maken X, emphasizing the focus on sound and cut in its production, promoting the game's features ahead of its release, and encouraging viewers to watch it on TV. The release date is mentioned as November 25th. The Dreamcast game Brainjack features unique special attacks for its main characters. Key's Machina Quake is a stamina-consuming 2-stage horizontal slash. Kate Stay's Crimson Lily of Flame is a high-power homing steam attack. Akunasu utilizes Sickness Tornado, a high-speed wind-based attack. Aikakei's Faishan's Dancing Princess Blade is a transforming demon sword that unleashes ranged projectiles. Badareru's Thunder Wave is a screen-clearing thunderstrike. Ramarotsu's Ice Crystal Sword freezes enemies on impact, enabling follow-up attacks, and launches ice crystals along the ground. The demon sword's form changes depending on the user. This page showcases characters and their special moves from the Dreamcast game Maken X. First up is Jahanling, whose special attack, 4 Light Rings Fly, unleashes multiple arms to attack with rings. Next is Marguerite. Her reflecting laser in all directions special move utilizes thin lasers that bounce off surfaces. Ray's special is unique as temporary invincibility, making him invulnerable for a period rather than dealing damage. Dal uses poison gas fills the air, releasing a gas cloud that immobilizes opponents. Marukara's special, high-powered puppet bomb, involves using his doll as a powerful explosive. Finally, Andre's attack, Scalpel slices through enemies, launches a sharp scalpel straight from his mouth. The screenshots illustrate these special attacks in action. This page showcases the Dreamcast Magazine GDROM Volume 3, which features a collection of 7 playable game demos to celebrate the Dreamcast's first anniversary. This disc aims to provide an early taste of games anticipated for the end of the year. The featured titles include Evolution 2, Far Off Promise, Death Crimson 2, The Shrine of Melanito, Bangayo, Sonic Adventure, referred to as Vermilion Desert, possibly stage demo. Chapter of the Flowers of Oblivion. Let's Play Golf. Japanese title only. Uka Hushin. The Time When Uka Blooms. Japanese title only. The page provides instructions on how to handle the GDROM, troubleshooting tips if a game doesn't run, and menu navigation. It also includes general precautions for using Dreamcast software and legal notices regarding the GDROM content. This page is an advert for Dreamcast GD Volume 3, promoting a special Experience Promotion Present Project keyword quiz. It's a competition where readers can win prizes by finding hidden keywords related to the 7 game titles featured in the GDROM Volume 3. There are 3 prize tiers. A prize is a Hello Kitty Dreamcast set for 1 winner. B prize is a set of all 7 full product versions of the games featured on the GD Volume 3, awarded to 10 winners. And the Dream Mega prize is a Dreamcast original strap for 20 winners. To enter, participants need to play all 7 game demos on the Dreamcast GD Volume 3 to find the hidden keywords. They must then arrange the keywords in the correct order and send them in on a postcard, along with their details to the Dreamcast Magazine editorial department. The deadline for entries is December 9th. The advert features screenshots hinting at the 7 playable game demos included on the Dreamcast GD Volume 3, giving readers a preview of what to expect. This page is a preview of the Dreamcast game Evolution 2, an RPG, and sequel to Evolution, the World of Sacred Device. This demo disc, from Dreamcast Magazine, allows players to experience a portion of the game including the opening movie, prologue, town exploration, event scenes, and dungeons. The preview highlights 3 key gameplay points in the demo: exploring Museville Town and interacting with its inhabitants, taking a request from Whitehead at the Societe Ancient Learning Research Institute, and venturing into the Blaze Ruins dungeon for combat and object destruction. The page also includes a controller layout diagram explaining the button functions for movement, actions like talking and jumping, menu access, and camera control. The full game was released in Japan on December 23, 1999. This page is a guide for Evolution 2: Far Off Promise, explaining the basic controls and essential knowledge needed for adventure in the game. It details fundamental aspects, such as character movement and viewpoint control, using the directional pad and Y button to switch between overhead and character perspectives. The guide also describes the field display information, which includes maps of towns and dungeons, monster positions, and breakable objects, acting as a radar. It explains the command input battle system, where players choose actions from menus like attack, special moves, items, movement, defend, and escape, with an action gauge indicating turn order. Furthermore, it covers party management menus accessed through the Start button, detailing options like checking character status, managing special skills and equipment, and adjusting system settings. Finally, it touches upon special moves and character growth mechanics involving FP, fight points, and TP, technical points, which are crucial for using special moves and learning new skills. This page is a preview of the Dreamcast game Death Crimson 2, subtitled Marinito's Altar. This is a demo version of the game included on a Dreamcast Magazine disc and features 4-player cooperative play, vibration pack support, and compatibility with the Dreamcast gun. The page highlights the game's dark and intense atmosphere, described as, "Behold, a glimpse of the dark Super Demon King." It also provides instructions on how to calibrate the Dreamcast gun before playing. Controller and Dreamcast gun button layouts are shown, detailing button functions for menu navigation, firing, reloading, and viewpoint changes. The developer, A. Cole, comments that this demo version showcases the volume of content included in the retail version and emphasizes the story mode. They encourage players to experience the death world of Death Crimson 2. Game data includes a release date of November 25th, price of 5,800 yen plus 300 points, genre listed as SHT shooting, 14 players, requires 5 blocks on the VM, and is on Disc 1. The game's website is also listed. The page also mentions that the retail version data is the latest. A review quote states, "Is this magic?" remarking on the game's impact as a sequel to the previous game, which received a low score of 2 points from the reviewer. It describes the previous game as lowest rank Emperor, but now suggests a change in quality and encourages players to witness the true form of Death Crimson 2. Death Crimson 2: Terrors of Parameter Zero offers 2 main game modes: shooting mode, mission mode, and adventure mode, story mode. Shooting mode provides score-based gunplay across 2 stages, with single and party play options. Adventure mode continues the original story, combining adventure and shooting elements with polygon-based interactions and character appearances. The story unfolds in 3 parts: an introduction, character interactions, and combat with enemies like Azelius Trit, hinting at interconnected fates. Unique gameplay systems include viewpoint changes for strategy, weak point targeting, enemy crotch for scoring, health recovery via bloodstains, and item acquisition through environmental interaction. A customizable damage voice feature is included. The game, recognized by Sega as Dark Gal Game Shooting, promises a unique experience. The full game will include a horror time limit event with timed puzzles, and a desert battle with exploration and enemy encounters. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast demo version of Bakuretsu Muteki Bengai-o, a shooting game. The page details the demo version included in Dream Magazine GD Volume 3. It explains the game's flow from the title screen, which sets the stage for the explosive shooting action. You can enter your name for high scores. The demo lets you play the first stage, Hell's First District. But demo play also shows glimpses of later stages up to stage 3. The developer comment from Treasure highlights that this is a work-in-progress demo, but emphasizes the exhilarating, over-the-top action with missiles and explosions. The game data lists a release date of December 19th and a price of 5,800 yen. The demo is single-player only and doesn't require any special peripherals. The page also provides instructions on how to navigate menus and reset the game using button combinations. This page is a gameplay guide for Bangai-O, a shooting game for the Dreamcast. The guide details the game's controls, explaining the use of the L trigger to switch shot types, the analog stick for aiming, and the directional buttons for movement. It clarifies the function of each button on the Dreamcast controller. The guide highlights the dash move, activated by double-tapping the directional buttons, and explains various shot types achievable by combining the A, B, X, and Y buttons. It emphasizes the power of the all-direction shot, which becomes stronger when used as a counterattack. Tips are provided on collecting fruits dropped by defeated enemies and energy items to replenish energy. The page also discusses score recording and saving. Specific strategies for using the all-direction shot effectively are mentioned, especially against bosses, by reflecting their projectiles. This page is a game preview for Vermilion Desert, a real-time simulation game for the Dreamcast. The preview highlights the game's story. Set in North Carolina 105, where a young king's empire invades neighboring lands, quickly conquering a vast territory. The opposing federation retaliates with a special forces unit called Silver Fox, which includes a soldier known as the God of Death. The preview focuses on the demo version, featuring Mission 4 titled Giant Soldier Weapon. It emphasizes the game's real-time simulation aspects and visually impressive battle scenes made possible by the Dreamcast. The controller layout is detailed, explaining the functions of each button, including camera zoom, team and member changes, command selection, and menu navigation. The developer's comment encourages players to try the demo, noting that the full game will feature 20 missions, and that tactical approaches will significantly influence gameplay. This game guide for Vermilion Desert outlines the game's strategic gameplay. Step 1 involves Team Edit, where players form teams, equip units, and set leaders. Players begin with 3 teams and a Junk Lord unit. Step 2 focuses on route setting, or strategy edit, on a map to guide each team to the mission objective, like facility destruction on the left side of the map. Actions at each route point include movement, shy speed, scout, search, and battle actions. Through, attack, trap, wait. Step 3 describes battle initiation and monitoring team status, including using the command window and support options. Players must constantly check team condition and adjust tactics. Developers recommend strategic team formation, terrain-based unit placement, and job changes. They advise against over-reliance on high speed in route planning, recommending scout or search, and coordinated team movements. A skimmer unit can remove traps. This preview details the Dreamcast action game, Berserk, Chapter of the Flower of Oblivion. The game features responsive controls, a deep story, and emphasizes player freedom in combat, particularly through the Berserk mode. The trial version includes Story Mode, showcasing the game's opening, and Battle Arena, a score-based mode where players face waves of enemies. Screenshots display in-game action, including blood effects. The controller layout is provided, explaining functions for sword stances, movement, menu navigation, item selection, guarding, and attacks. An enemy score table lists points awarded for defeating different enemy types, encouraging strategic gameplay. The options menu allows for vibration and audio adjustments. The developer comment confirms the game is in its final stages of development, with improvements planned for image quality and resolution in the final product compared to the trial version. This guide covers the core gameplay of the Dreamcast game Berserk. Basic controls include sword/bare hand switching L, attacking AB, guarding Y, and jumping X. Sword attacks include vertical and horizontal slashes, dash attacks, and sliding. Unarmed, you can punch and use a bowgun. Guarding blocks most frontal attacks and allows for step movements. Evasion, A+X, is a stamina-consuming dodge that can lead to counterattacks. Charge attacks, hold A, are powerful but slow.
Berserk mode, activated when the red gauge is full, grants temporary invincibility, increased speed, and power. Beginners are advised to master basic A-button attacks before exploring more complex techniques. The game also features combination attacks and the powerful Great Cannon, R+Y, followed by A presses.
This page is a preview for a Dreamcast golf game titled The Golf Game. It details the free round trial version available on the Dream Magazine CD Volume 3. Allowing play on 5 courses with 3 holes each, totaling 15 playable holes. The game features a gameplay guide explaining the screen layout and controls, including club selection using directional buttons, shot power adjustment with the A button, and determining the ball's impact point using the analog stick. The developer's comment highlights their excitement in finally bringing a golf game to the Dreamcast, emphasizing the fun and engaging gameplay they aimed for, and encouraging players to try the demo. The preview mentions that the retail version of the game will include World Tour mode and other modes not available in the trial. Let's Golf for the Dreamcast is designed for fun and accessibility, even for those new to golf. The game features expressive characters like Akio, stable, Catherine, power, Jurian, technical, and Christine, beginner-friendly, each with unique stats. Players can enjoy 3 free round modes: point tourney, stroke play, and match play across 5 courses: Japan, Africa, Australia, America, and Scotland in the trial version. The product version promises more courses and a World Tour mode. The game offers a 1-point lesson with gameplay tips, emphasizing good shot timing and understanding green slopes. The full product version will include online tournaments, message boards, hidden holes, and club rankings, leveraging network compatibility for user interaction and content updates. This page from Dreamcast Magazine Volume 3 introduces Uka Haoshin, Legend of the Sacred Mirror, a simulation RPG set in a mystical ancient China-inspired world for the Dreamcast. This demo version, featured on the GDROM, allows players to experience the beginning of the game up to the end of the first chapter, highlighting the strategic gameplay and story introduction. The game's setting is described as a world filled with magic, drawing inspiration from classic tales like Journey to the West and Soul Hunter. The page outlines the game's overview and battle commands, including movement, attack, defense, magic, item use, direction changes, information display, and an auto battle option. A developer comment mentions, "This is the kind of simulation RPG Dreamcast fans have been anticipating," and encourages readers to enjoy both the demo and the full retail version upon release. A note of caution advises players about potential screen flickering in the demo and recommends playing in a well-lit room and taking breaks. Finally, there's a mention of a luxury prize keyword quiz, directing readers to page 57 for more details. This page introduces the game Elysian, Eternal Sanctuary, a real-time command battle role-playing game for the Dreamcast. The story centers around a girl from modern Japan who finds herself in the world of Elysian. The page details the game system, which involves real-time strategy elements and entering battle mode when encountering enemies. It explains the movement system, where players purify areas filled with evil aura. The page also provides a controller layout for the Dreamcast, explaining the functions of each button for gameplay. A section is dedicated to strategy and battles, highlighting the importance of teamwork and utilizing characters with ranged attacks. Finally, it gives a walkthrough for the demo version, focusing on purifying the evil aura from areas. This page is an advertisement for the magazine GM Issue 05. It features Mario and highlights the magazine's special feature on Nintendo's Invincible system, and apologizes for delaying the release date of the magazine. The page lists articles including features on The World with PlayStation 2, Arcade in My Life, Front Mission 3 Revival, Game Optimization as seen in Fire Emblem, What Macross VFX 2 brought to us, Adult Game Frontline, GM Recommended Titles, 20 new and old titles, and other popular serializations. The magazine is priced at 980 yen and is currently on sale. Guru Powers is a Dreamcast-focused reader submission page featuring comments and magazine responses. Dream Square highlights reader inquiries and experiences. Readers discuss games like Doppelganger, Shenmue, and Seaman, with humorous magazine replies. One reader recounts a failed attempt to buy Zombie Revenge, while another struggles with Seaman. Other submissions include dreams, character illustrations of Dreamcast characters, and characters from Ready 2 Rumbleboxing, Super Robot Wars, and Turn a Gundam. Ventureless The page promotes Ready to Rumble Boxing and details about Super Robot Wars and Turn a Gundam.
The section ends with reader illustrations.
Overall, the page fosters a lively community around Dreamcast gaming. This page is showcasing the Angel's Great Cathedral reader submission section, where fans create pixel art within the Dreamcast's VM resolution of 48 by 32. The page highlights Ichiban Boshi-san as the featured artist for this month. There's an illustration introducing Dory's moms as a fun aside. The page also features a segment called Angel Coming to Town, inviting readers to participate in the pixel art fun and connect at the Great Cathedral. Several reader submissions are showcased. From Hokkaido, Kozue Sato presents pixel art related to Macross, noting it's not a robot but still participating. Chiba's Mizuna Mikaj contributed a detailed dot picture capturing the essence of a character, described as Mag Launcher. Nara's Each Station Stop created Flenna from Phantasy Star, praised for capturing the character's features effectively, suggesting refinement for even better results. Osaka's Naka Tanaka submitted Bolanok Saman from Zeta Gundam, referencing the character Dory and wondering if the name's origin is Forest Bear San. Finally, the page provides submission guidelines, asking for black and white 4D perspective pixel art on the 48 by 32 grid, sent to the Dreamcast Magazine editorial department at SoftBank Publishing in Tokyo. BMP format is the preferred data format for digital submissions. This page is showcasing the Illustration Garden fan art submissions, and the theme this time is Winter Sports. However, the featured games inspiring the artwork are primarily Sakura Wars 3 and Puyo Puyo DA, featuring El Lina system. The editors mention that Puyo Puyo submissions are also included and express excitement at the high number of submissions and the enthusiasm from the readers. There are several fan art illustrations displayed, each with an artist's name and prefecture. One illustration depicts a nurse character, another shows Sakura Wars 3 characters, and another shows Puyo Puyo DA characters. The editors have added brief comments next to each illustration, giving their impressions on the artwork, such as noting the cuteness of a character or commenting on the composition of the piece. For example, one comment mentions the setting of Sakura Wars 3 being Paris this time, and suggests flowers in the background would enhance the artwork. Another comment praises the refreshing smiles of the Puyo Puyo characters. Overall, it's a fun page highlighting reader contributions inspired by popular Dreamcast games. This Love Cafe reader submission page features various content. Due to space limitations, not all submissions are published. The Uzumaki section includes articles analyzing trends like transparent designs, skeleton boom, the necessity of money despite its limitations, illusion of the righteous, and a critique of the fast-paced game industry, longing for the simplicity of older games, game-like games. The Mugen Koma manga section showcases a reader-submitted comic strip. The Unconfirmed Information Bureau reveals details about several games, including Space Harrier, Roommate Mania, Rent-A-Hero, Ring, Superhero Strategy Chronicles, and Guru Guru Hot Spring. Finally, the page includes application guidelines for readers interested in submitting illustrations or text. This page is an advertisement for strategy guides from Dorimaga Book KS. The first guide is the Winner's Bible for J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, also known as Saskatsuku, or Let's Make a Pro Soccer Club. It is promoted as the ultimate guide to winning, offering system analysis, player development and management advice, and data for J-League players, promising to help players build the strongest club. This guide is already on sale. The second guide is the 120% utilization manual for Guru Guru Onsen, described as essential for enjoying the online world of this Dreamcast communication game. It covers everything from connection methods to chat tips, aimed at both beginners and experienced players. This guide is scheduled for release in November. This page from Dreamcast Magazine showcases the Bad Habits Corner, Volume 46, with the 32nd installment of the Mote, or Popularity Troubles feature. The main topic is an omiai, or matchmaking project, presenting reader-submitted emails and the reactions of Exuko-san.
The page highlights 2 example emails.
The first is from Spartan, a 27-year-old freelancer interested in Getter Robo and anime songs, especially Shin Getter Robo. The second email is from Makoto, who also enjoys Getter Robo and expresses concern about being a clumsy otaku. Tsuko-san provides humorous and engaging responses to these emails. The page essentially showcases reader interaction and advice within the magazine, specifically tailored for the Dreamcast gaming audience and those interested in anime and otaku culture, as exemplified by the Getter Robo references. Contact details are provided for readers to submit their own emails. This page features several articles and sections related to games. The main feature seems to be about a game or test called Touch de Uno, which is used to assess right brain ability. The writer discusses their experience playing it, noting their frustration when the screen gets stuck and the feeling of fatigue affecting their performance. They reflect on the nature of intelligence tests and the effort required to improve scores. Another section, External God Game Ansoroji Round 22nd, delves into a science fiction-like story about games that are so addictive that players need external help to stop playing. It mentions the concept of signal stimulation in games. The Game Shop Backside Ultimate Game Consideration Part 3 column explores the idea of television as a signal stimulus related to children's eating habits. It mentions Sega Saturn's electronic encyclopedia Encarta as a point of reference for understanding signal stimulation. There is also a small advertisement for a Takashi Hama photography exhibition happening until December 12th, featuring photos of children in suburban game centers. Finally, at the bottom, a comic strip depicts a new employee presenting a TV, sparking a conversation about the role of TV in daily life. This page is a comic strip titled Something Yoshimatsu Theater Episode 47, and Signing Events Are the Best in the World. The comic depicts a humorous story around a signing event, likely for the game Seaman. It mentions that at yesterday's signing event, many people gathered and were excited about the game Seaman. The comic follows a character who seems to be experiencing some sort of transformation, perhaps related to playing Seaman. One panel shows a conveyor belt of Seaman packages, and another panel shows the character looking like Seaman after a week, implying the game has had a strong impact on them. The comic is lighthearted and focuses on the fan enthusiasm surrounding Seaman. This page features a column titled New Black Ore by Fumio Kurokawa, focusing on a booklet called Things You Shouldn't Buy. This booklet investigates dangerous additives in everyday products like food, drinks, detergents, cosmetics, medicines, and general goods, warning consumers about hidden dangers. Kurokawa's profile and recent activities are also briefly detailed. The page also includes a Game Industry Weekly News headline section, noting a quiet week for game news. The mobile phone game market is highlighted as growing, mentioning NTT Docomo's iMode service and models like JSH02 and JSH03, along with Konami Net and GNEXT. Dreamcast online gaming is discussed, specifically the online fishing game Fishing Baka Nishi, and the emerging trend of game rental services in Japan. Konami Net's service launch on November 1st is also mentioned. This page is an anime check section featuring Rurouni Kenshin, Recollection Arc Special Edition OVA, set during the turbulent Bakumatsu era. It's described as a drama of fate and love, based on the popular manga and anime series Rurouni Kenshin. The OVA is a special edition compiling the 4-part Recollection Arc series, focusing on Kenshin's past and the reasons behind his Scar of the Cross and his vow of non-killing. It will be released on VHS and DVD on November 20th. Character introductions are provided for Kenshin Himura, voiced by Mayo Suzukaze, Tomoe Yukishiro, voiced by Junko Iwao, Seihuro Hiko, voiced by Kiyoyuki Yanada, Kogoro Katsura, voiced by Nozomu Sasaki, and Hajime Saito, voiced by Hiroyuki. The page also includes a topics section about anime CDs, released by Pony Canyon in November. 3 CDs are highlighted: the theme song for Steel Angel Kurumi, the theme song for Magical Girl Pretty Sammy, and the Nankai Kiki Original Soundtrack 3. Each CD includes multiple tracks with vocals and karaoke versions. This page highlights upcoming releases and TV programs. There's an announcement for the TV Anime Loves Aba Aba Hour, Volume 1 release on November 26th, a gag anime. Ojamajo Doremi Volume 2 is available for rental from November 12th. A special program called Satellite Channel Check focuses on Who Killed Rikishi from the anime Ashita no Joe 2, airing on Animax. Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 12 is releasing on November 25th, featuring episodes 44 to 46. God Mystery Janus Volume 2 is also available for rental from November 12th, covering episodes 5 to 8, Digimon Adventure. Volume 3 rental starts November 12th, with episodes 9 to 12. The final volume, Volume 7, of Space Pirate Mito's Great Adventure, is out on November 25th, containing the last episodes. Flower Angel Tenten-kun, Volume 2, is scheduled for release on November 17th, episodes 5 to 8. Super Doll Licca-chan, Volume 18 Forgotten Sunday, will be released on November 26th, with episodes 45 to 48. A Armored Trooper Votem's Dragonar Memorial Box Part 1 LD set is coming on November 25th, featuring episodes 1 to 24. Princess 9. Volume 4 DVD is planned for release on November 17th, episodes 11 to 14. Lastly, there's a Moonlight Mask special, an 8-hour program airing on Kids Station on November 23rd. Dreamcast Magazine reviews 3 films. No Problem, Momentai, is a Hong Kong action comedy romance starring Takashi Okamura, a Japanese comedian, making his Hong Kong debut. The film features Okamura performing his own action scenes and involves a chase to Hong Kong. The Thomas Crown Affair, the 1999 remake starring Pierce Brosnan and Rene Russo, is a sophisticated jewelry heist film with a glamorous setting. It was directed by John McTiernan. Finally, 200 Cigarettes is a Christmas set romance set during New Year's Eve 1981, capturing youth culture, fashion, and music of the era. Elvis Costello appears in the film. Heaven and Earth and May reviews several books centered on angels, demons, heaven, and hell. Black Matrix Advance Official Guide details the Dreamcast game, exploring its world ruled by angels and demons. Shin Kyoku, Divine Comedy, with Gustave Doré illustrations, presents Dante's journey through hell, purgatory, and heaven. Paradise Lost by John Milton details Satan's rebellion and the fall of Adam and Eve. Faust Part 1 by Goethe is a classic tragedy about demons, humans, and a contract with focus on love, and illustrated by Yamamoto Yoko. World of Angels by Malcolm Godwin offers a rare examination of angels, including demonic angels, drawing from myths, legends, and diverse cultural references. Alongside book reviews, a new Dreamcast game, a comedic adventure game, is reviewed, referencing Sega's history. A ranking table of game books and other books from Booktower 7F, October 1st-7th 1999, is also presented, with guides for games like Derby Stallion PS, topping the gamebooks chart. This page features an interview with a game music composer named Ika Seiken, whose profile mentions he is from Nagano Prefecture and learned the basics of composition at university. He then started composing game music in earnest, working on titles like Grandia, Lunar, and Langrisser series. He is described as a rising young composer handling various genres, from game music to musical stage performances and Tokyo Disneyland music. Erikoskin discusses his music production process, mentioning that autumn is a good season for composition and how he has been working on music production late at night, even having to use heating equipment in his studio because it's getting cold. He talks about using Dreamcast for his work and specifically mentions Grandia as a big project he is working on, along with the Saturn version of Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, which he had to refine. He expresses his enjoyment and pride in seeing his scores being played by orchestras. The page also includes a section called Music Terminology Basic Lecture Part 1, Sound and Music, which seems to be an educational segment explaining basic music concepts. Another section called This Week's Treasured Snap shows a photo from a live music event held on July 25th at Kawago Bread House Live, where Ekishkin participated on keyboards, describing it as a fun and enjoyable atmosphere. This page is an advertisement for the PMODEL 20th Anniversary Project, titled Music Industrial Wastes. This project includes 2 books, P Model Side Open Source and Hirasawa Side Tabletop Uroboros, along with a CD-ROM compatible with Windows 95/98 and Macintosh System 8.0. The release is scheduled for late November and priced at 8,000 yen plus tax. This page appears to be a questionnaire from a Dreamcast magazine, soliciting reader feedback on demographics, gaming habits, and opinions on the magazine's content. It includes lists detailing hardware, hard list,
a comprehensive Dreamcast software list featuring a wide range of games across various genres, and a list of articles in this issue. The software list showcases both prominent and obscure titles, revealing the Dreamcast's diverse library. The articles in this issue section suggest the magazine provided news, previews, reviews, and strategy guides for a variety of games. This page is all about Dreamcast hot information, highlighting the Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide. The main feature is on Japan Pro Mahjong League approved official exemption game Mahjong Training Camp, which is described as a practical Mahjong software where you can earn official league recognition while playing. It details how players can participate in national Mahjong tournaments in the game, win prize money, and even obtain an official league-certified rank by sending a password to the Secretariat after achieving a certain level. The game boasts features like replay to review hands and learn from professional players, and a free match mode. Screenshots show gameplay and player selection screens with real Mahjong pros, such as Takeo Kojima, Yuko Ito, and Ayami Nito Udo. The page also lists upcoming Dreamcast games and features, including Japan Pro Mahjong League Public Record Official Exemption Game, Biohazard Code, Veronica, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Chokido Senshi Kikai O, Super Robot Wars, Bakuhatsu Muteki Bangayo, Bangayo, Top of the Formula, Top of the Formula, Tokyo Bus Anai, Tokyo Bus Guide, Ready to Rumble Boxing, Ready to Rumble Boxing, Arrow Dancing, F Seishun no Tsubasa, Arrow Wings, Speed Devil, Need for Speed, V-Rally 2, Japan Pro Mahjong League, approved Heisei Mahjong. Further listed games include J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, J-League Pro Soccer Club Create, Revive, Susei, Super Producers, Choo Choo Rocket, Gigawing, and Suku no Sauhei Space Griffon, Armored Trooper Votoms, Steel Force. This page is a preview of Biohazard Code, Veronica, known internationally as Resident Evil Code. Veronica. The article highlights the game's emphasis on fear and suspense. Much like previous games in the series, it details the various tricks or mechanisms used to create a frightening experience. Screenshots showcase Claire Redfield in different environments, emphasizing puzzle-solving elements and progression through the game. The article mentions trick and passage mechanics, describing puzzles where players must solve riddles and overcome obstacles to advance. It also talks about familiar boxes as item containers and the importance of key items. Another section discusses unexpected developments, suggesting dynamic scenarios influenced by Claire's actions. The page also provides game details. It's 70% complete, scheduled for release on February 3, 2000, priced at 6,800 yen, is a single-player game on 2 discs, and is categorized as a survival horror title. The Capcom homepage address is also listed. This page is all about Biohazard Code, Veronica, known internationally as Resident Evil Code, Veronica. It details item acquisition methods, mentioning items found in drawers and locked locations requiring keys. It also talks about essential medicines and weapon acquisition opportunities in unexpected places, suggesting the use of a lighter for searching. There's a section on drawer puzzles, which seems to involve opening drawers in a specific order based on hints, although the hint itself isn't provided here. The page also highlights traps, stating they are not always beneficial to the player and can be activated by incorrect actions, potentially triggering alarms. Finally, it introduces the hunter enemy, emphasizing its strength and the tension it creates when encountered in corridors with sensors. It mentions that players familiar with the series will understand the threat hunters pose, and suggests there may be other ways to defeat them beyond typical methods. The hunter is described as similar in appearance to those in Bio 3, likely referring to Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, but is presented as a new type of hunter. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Tech Romancer, known in Japan as Chuku Senki Kikai O. The page showcases several of the game's robots. On the left, there is a description of the Special Duty Machine Soldier Dixon, a versatile robot capable of atmospheric entry and equipped with long-range weapons like the Ficker cannon. Below it is the Dream Combination Twin Zam V, a robot formed by combining 2 machines and capable of transforming into 2 different forms. On the right, the page focuses on the titular robot Steel Giant God Kikai O, described as an overwhelmingly powerful super robot with strong armor, whose special move is the rocket blow. Lastly,
At the bottom, there is the Super Clunker Robot Poron, a bizarre robot utilizing impossible techniques and powered by magic, including the magic of a magical girl named Polon. The page also provides game details, including the developer Capcom, a release window of January 2000, a price of 5,800 yen, and then it's a 1 to 2 player 3D fighting action game. It concludes by evoking childhood memories of giant robots, and emphasizes the desire to play with such robots, suggesting that those who felt that way have the potential to be pilots in this game. This page previews Tech Romancer, originally known as Super Steel Battle Chronicle Kikayo in Japan, a Dreamcast game featuring robot battles. It highlights the game's appeal with phrases like combination, transformation, beautiful girl robot, and emphasizes that all types of robot mecha will gather. The game is described as having easy controls and a hero challenge mode, which is exclusive to the Dreamcast version and adds depth to the gameplay. The page introduces several robots. Diana 17, described as a messenger of beauty and justice. Valcione, a mysterious giant robot. And Wise Duck, an aerial and land combat robot. It mentions that the DC version has substantial original content compared to the arcade version, referring to the Hero Challenge mode, which assesses your hero level based on score and other factors. The screenshots show fast-paced 3D robot fighting action. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Kikayo, King of the Mechs, a mech fighting game. The page highlights the game's development room feature, where players can unlock bonus content like illustration galleries, data files, and movie collections by earning in-game funds. The data box is described as a database filled with information about robots and pilots, including detailed machine settings. The movie box allows players to view demo movies from the arcade version of Hero Challenge mode. The page also explains the battle system, emphasizing the use of lever and button combinations for attacks, item collection for power-ups, the danger of armor destruction, and powerful final attack moves when the opponent's health is low enough. The main pilot character is Junpei Todoroki, and Dr. I, presumably the developer or in-game mentor, welcomes players to the world of Kikayo. The next page highlights downloadable minigames for the visual memory. One minigame featured is Pullen-chan's Love and Punch, a simple love game where you decide to kiss or punch approaching characters. Moving on, the animation box section introduces the complete original anime Super Steel Battle Chronicle Kikayo. This section emphasizes that fans have been waiting for this anime, packed with original content, boasting all characters and robots engaging in sword fights, promising a heated anime experience. The page then transitions to television anime story development, discussing the deeper story modes within games, comparing them to robot anime with diverse values and beliefs. Consolers is highlighted as a story mode centered around Team Leader Gonzalez and his special unit. Daiichi and Sora is another story element, focusing on the energetic Daiichi and Sora, mentioning the concept of a Dream Bazooka V, and story branching based on player actions. Finally, Shadow Red's story is presented as a rival story in Kikayo, where Shadow Red acts as a strong enemy, potentially playable in the Dreamcast version, promising details about the mysterious machine, Raiden. This page is all about the game Bangai-O, highlighting the appeal of 2D games. The game is described as bombastic, explosive, and unrestrained, with the tagline, Bangai-O is awesome. The page emphasizes the game's 2D perspective and visual style, with speech bubbles joking about 2D viewpoints. It praises the developers, Treasure, for using the Dreamcast's power to create detailed pixel art. The text explains that despite 3D graphics becoming popular, there's still a lot of fun in 2D games, and Bangai-O exemplifies this. The game is described as having massive missile displays, large explosions, and a counter system, promising an exhilarating experience. The page encourages players to try the demo version to experience the fun firsthand. It mentions that once a stage is cleared, it can be replayed indefinitely, encouraging score attack modes, and that there's a convenient overall map feature included in the game. Bangai-O is listed as a shooting game, SHT, scheduled for release on December 9th, priced at 5,800 yen. This page delves into Explosive Invincible Bangai-O, a thrilling action game. It serves as a guide, focusing on gameplay tips featuring characters Riki and MKO. Chapter 1 highlights the challenge of impassable blocks, particularly transparent crystal blocks. These come in blue and green varieties. Blue blocks allow projectiles to pass through them, while green blocks only permit enemy projectiles to pass. It explains that player projectiles cannot pass through green blocks, and even bound shots are ineffective. Chapter 2 discusses breakable gray blocks. These blocks can be destroyed using orange bomb blocks strategically placed nearby, utilizing the explosion to clear the path. MKO advises caution when detonating bombs and suggests maintaining distance from the blast. The page emphasizes using reflective shots effectively to overcome obstacles and progress. Dreamcast Magazine previews several upcoming games. Group's Super Energy Management System involves platforming, explosive blocks, and a boss battle against a seemingly friendly but affiliated boss named Core. Twilight Detective stars a veteran detective infiltrating a gang to find his daughter, featuring a confrontational boss fight. Excitement? Meeting an old friend in enemy territory introduces journalist Yasuo, seeking to expose the Tiger Shark gang. Suspicion? Corrupt lawyer Kenji arrives, introduces a potentially corrupt lawyer, raising questions about morality. The magazine also reveals approximately 40 stages in total. Screenshots indicate a shooting game with character sprites, enemies, bullet patterns, and boss battles. The VS sections likely highlight boss battles against Core, Yasuo the Reporter, and Twilight Detective. The next page features a preview of the Dreamcast game Blast Wind Bangai-O. The page is titled Chapter 7. Expressionless, Gimunema Pushy Salesman, Mamiru Gets Angry. The text introduces a boss character, who is a Gimunema salesman who appears as a new boss in this preview. Mamiru is warning her brother about the salesman's strange Japanese speech patterns. The page highlights various stages in the game. Stage 16. Laser Coffin, where the laser's blade burns, describes a stage filled with laser-emitting turrets, tasking players to destroy the turrets at the base and aim for the boss. Stage 18. Desperate Escape, the night the machines descend, describes a stage with conveyor belts, with the text asking, "Emergency evasion? Is that what men do?" Stage 23 shows a chaotic scene filled with enemies and mentions needing to cut through the opening by defeating all the enemy robots constantly produced by the generator at the top of the stage. Finally, it introduces the boss, Black Curtain Appearance? Tiger General Group Leader Guy. This boss appears in the middle stages of the game and is described as a parental figure and gang leader. He uses a mech similar to Bangai-O, deploying homing missiles and reflective bullets intensely. The text suggests avoiding a direct frontal assault and asks, "Can we win?" It mentions Guy's all-directional bullets have counter properties and can reflect full directional bullets back at the player. A small manga panel depicts a character reacting to the boss and the reflected bullets. This page introduces Top of the Formula, a brand new driver development racing simulation game for Dreamcast. It emphasizes the realistic feeling and deep strategy elements of the game. Players start from karting and aim to reach the top of Formula Racing, improving their skills and career as they progress. The game is described as being 70% complete and is scheduled for release in Japan in April 2000. The page highlights features like real-time race strategy using icons and the inclusion of real-world race courses. Screenshots showcase in-game racing action and race standings, mentioning drivers with names like R. Baruchero, A. Zanardi, and J. Herbert. This page introduces the racing categories featured in a game, highlighting 5 levels, starting from entry-level to top-tier motorsports. The first category is Racing Kart, described as the gateway to motorsports, emphasizing the use of a 100cc 2-stroke engine and its importance in learning racing basics. Next is TF1600, FJ1600, presented as a reasonable middle formula category positioned between karts and F3. It mentions using a 1600cc naturally aspirated engine and being known as a middle formula category, with FJ1600, Formula Toyota, and F4 falling under this umbrella. The game seems to represent the FJ1600 category. The third category is TF3, F3, depicted as a competitive category for young drivers on the world stage. It describes the category having many manufacturers and intense development races, with races held in Japan as well, fostering young talent aiming for the top. Following this is TFJAPAN, F Nippon, positioned as the closest to F1 and the domestic top formula category in Japan. It mentions evolving from F3000 to Formula Nippon, being closer to F1 than F3, and utilizing a 3-liter naturally aspirated engine. Finally, TF1, F1, is introduced as the highest peak in motorsports. It's described as the pinnacle of four-wheeled racing, attracting top drivers and showcasing cutting-edge racing technology with fierce battles. It mentions regulation changes each year and currently using a 3-liter naturally aspirated engine, with grooved tires being mandated. The page ends by questioning how the game will allow players to enjoy the world of F1, the most glamorous and competitive category. This page is a preview of the Dreamcast game Tokyo Bus Guide, a bus driving simulation game developed by 45. It is emphasized as the industry's first full cooperation project with the Tokyo Metropolitan Bureau of Transportation. Players take on the role of a bus driver in Tokyo, managing routes, adhering to traffic rules, and handling passenger interactions and announcements. The game boasts realistic elements like recreating actual Tokyo routes, traffic conditions, and even in-bus announcements and door operations. It highlights free run and practice modes, offering both freedom to drive and structured training. The review at the bottom praises the game's realism, stating it recreates Japanese road conditions accurately, including traffic light behavior and lane changes. It warns about penalties for traffic violations like speeding and ignoring signals, reinforcing the importance of following traffic rules in the game. The game is rated 95% complete and was scheduled for release on December 23rd for 5,800 yen. It uses 3 VM blocks and is on 1 disc. This page is introducing the Dreamcast game Tokyo Bus Guide, a realistic bus driving simulator set in Tokyo. The game features 3 real bus routes to drive, with faithfully recreated Tokyo streets, including shops, public facilities, and traffic signals. The scenery changes based on the time of day you play, offering different atmospheres like daytime, evening, and night. The page highlights the story mode, where you encounter various events when stopping at bus stops, and unique characters depending on the route you choose. These characters include elderly people praising your driving skills, and bus enthusiasts. There's also a minigame called Traffic Sign Quiz, where you answer questions based on traffic signs displayed on screen to earn points that can be used in the main game. The game is presented as an engaging experience with a focus on realistic bus driving and everyday life scenarios, including encounters with passengers and various events at bus stops. The text also mentions the bus handle is in your hands, emphasizing the player's role as the bus driver. This page is a preview of Ready to Rumble Boxing, a Dreamcast sports game. The game is described as an American and humorous boxing title, where you can unleash megaton punches. It received an 85% rating in this magazine. The game is scheduled for release on January 13, 2000, and will cost 5,800 yen, 300 points. The preview highlights the Afro Project 2000, which seems to be a push to make the character Afro Thunder popular, even stating that they want him to be loved in Japan and worldwide. The page mentions that a sample version of the US game has arrived and was well received by the editorial department, especially the smooth movement of Afro. The gameplay focuses on simple controls for punches in various directions, emphasizing that it's easy to pick up, but skill comes from reading opponent movements and guard. There are special moves specific to each character, activated with directional buttons and punch combinations. The page details basic controls like high and low punches, guard, sidestep, and sway, along with special moves like hook, upper, and overhead punches. Screenshots show gameplay and menu options. The next page features information on Ready to Rumble Boxing. It highlights the game's rule system, suggesting it's very loose compared to real boxing, allowing for moves like low blows and backhands, encouraging players to be aggressive. The page details the screen layout, pointing out the health bar, stamina bar, and time display during a match. It explains the rumble mode, which activates when you hit the opponent with strong punches, filling a meter and allowing for powerful attacks. The rumble flurry move, executed with X plus Y or A plus B during rumble mode, is described as a nearly unavoidable finishing rush. The page also introduces the famous ring announcer Michael Buffer, emphasizing his inclusion in the game and his catchphrase, "Let's get ready to rumble!" It mentions his popularity and how his presence in the game adds to the excitement. This page introduces Aero Dancing F as a special disc and highlights exciting new features. It emphasizes the free flight mode having undergone significant changes. The page mentions that all modes from the secret disc are now available in this version. There are also new additions like Option, Gallery, and Special Data, totaling 5 new elements. It notes the free flight mode isn't just a simple addition, implying deeper enhancements. The page also details data linking features with the previous Arrow dancing featuring Blue Impulse. By linking the special disc with save data from the previous game, players can carry over data and enhance replay functionality. Furthermore, owners of the previous game will get access to a significantly increased number of playable aircraft. Specifically, the secret disc alone offers 6 aircraft, but owning the previous title expands this to 12 aircraft. The bottom of the page showcases different aircraft models, labeled with names like T4, F1, F2, F4EJ, F15DJ, F104J, T4BI, T2BI, F4EJ, F86FBI, F15J, and RF4E, demonstrating the expanded aircraft selection for players who have the previous game. The screenshots show gameplay in a map called Valley. This page announces a new stage called My Room for the game Arrow Dancing F, Commander's Secret Disc. This new stage features a unique concept where you fly a microjet around a room, emphasizing the small scale of the aircraft compared to everyday objects like furniture. The page highlights that the game will have a gallery mode where you can view 151 replay data files. It also mentions that replay data can be downloaded from the official homepage. A preview for next week teases the arrival of a new aircraft. The page points out the detailed objects within the room that are designed to immerse players and hint at aspects of the commander's personal life. The game uses a scale of approximately 1/900th for the aircraft. The listed game modes are Free Flight, Multiplay, Blue Impulse, BIM and EXB, Sky Mission Attack, and All Mode. Speed Devils, a Dreamcast racing game developed by Ubisoft, offers intense, high-speed racing action. Released on November 18th for 5,800 yen, the game supports 12 players and features real CG graphics, focusing on exhilarating gameplay and a sense of reckless speed. A key feature is the 2-player battle mode, with a vertical split screen. 2 game modes are available: Normal Race, a standard 3-lap race, and Time Difference mode, where time gaps convert into points. Players start with 300 points, and the race ends after 3 laps, or when one player reaches 0 points. This mode creates excitement by quantifying time differences into score. The battle mode also boasts 5 different gameplay styles. This page is focused on the game Speed Devils. It introduces the game as being for Speed Devils-like players. There are descriptions for several game modes. Paris. Arcade mode lets you select race cars and courses for simple racing, with up to 5 courses available initially. Championship mode is set across a season of races with rivals, consisting of 1 to 5 courses per race. Performing well earns prize money, allowing you to upgrade cars and parts. Distance mode is a mode where you set a distance from 100 meters to 1,000 meters in 100 meters increments and try to outrun your opponent within that set distance to win money. Defense and attack mode divides players into offense, attack, and defense, alternating every 30 seconds. Attackers gain points by overtaking the defender, while defenders gain points by preventing overtakes. Rounds total to 9, and the player with the most points wins. Barons. Finally, there's a special challenge mode, where you compete in 6 types of categories over 3 rounds. The categories are displayed as icons in the center of the screen, and the side with the most categories won at the end of the 3 rounds is the winner. Screenshots throughout the page demonstrate the gameplay and various modes. There is also a pre-release scoop section, which expresses excitement for the upcoming release, saying it's a great game unlike any other racing game, praising its thrilling and fun gameplay. This page is all about the Dreamcast Mahjong game, Heisei Mahjong Sao. It's highlighted as a game where you can connect online and play against other Dreamcast owners across the country in 4-player matches. The game is officially recognized by the Japan Professional Mahjong League, allowing players to earn in-game ranks that reflect real Mahjong skill. The screenshots show in-game Mahjong action on a TV screen, and also how players can view their hands secretly on the Dreamcast VMU screen. There's an interview with the developer, Yasuto Maruyama from Micronet, who talks about how they focused on making a proper 4-player online Mahjong experience that captures the real essence of the game. He mentions the game supports up to 4 players online or offline with a mix of human and computer players. Maruyama also talks about the game being designed to appeal to both new and experienced Mahjong players, emphasizing the strategic depth of Mahjong itself. The page emphasizes this as a proper online Mahjong title for Dreamcast, with rank recognition and the ability to play against skilled players. This page is an advertisement for a book titled, "Sega Game is the Best in the World." The book is about the untold story of the game industry since the console wars. Is meshable. As a special bonus, the first 300 purchasers will receive a Sega family figure as a present. The advertisement emphasizes that this book is a passionate love letter to Sega. The price is 800 yen plus tax, and it is 136 pages long. Published by SB Comics and Dreamcast Magazine from SoftBank Publishing. This page is a strategy guide for Saskatsuku, J-League Professional Soccer Club, Votsukuru. The Japanese title for Sega Soccer Club in English territories. It dives into the crucial aspect of choosing the right manager to build a strong soccer club. The guide emphasizes that selecting a manager aligned with your club's goals is key to development, especially after you have established your club's direction. It highlights how managers influence training camp locations and scouting, adding unique benefits based on their origin and skills. The article explains that continuing to use the same manager or hiring a more capable one will depend on the direction you want to take your club. It presents tables that list manager names and their attributes, showing how each manager excels in specific areas of player development and coaching. The guide also mentions how factors beyond the manager, such as city development and sister city relationships, can expand the available training camp locations. The Personal Skill Strong Managers Best 10 section lists the top 10 managers skilled in individual player development, suggesting Brazilian managers are generally strong in this area. It uses a rating system of S, A, B, C, D, E to evaluate manager abilities. Finally, it features a profile of Rivelda manager as an example, detailing his contract conditions, style, and attributes. This page is a strategy guide for a soccer management game, presenting Best 10 lists of coaches categorized by their strengths. It highlights coaches excelling in basic training, combination play, system and tactics, and overall capabilities, providing guidance on selecting coaches based on their specific skills and the player's needs within the game. Example coaches are featured with details on their attributes and contract information. This guide analyzes manager effectiveness in a football simulation game, focusing on the counter system. A 2-year experiment compares two managers, Kessie and Bittenholt. Kessick, with a high counter ability, leads the team to an undefeated season, using a 4-4-2 counter tactic, prioritizing overall player improvement. Bittenholt, with weaker counter ability and positional instruction, achieves less success. Despite a 4th-place league finish and a cup win, their team is defeated in another competition. The second year reveals improved team tactics but lower scoring. The analysis highlights the significance of manager selection. Kessie's success underscores how a manager's strengths, aligned with appropriate tactics and training, can significantly enhance a team's performance. The guide suggests tactical aptitude and training methodology are crucial for victory. This page delves into the nuances of team management in a J-League Pro Soccer Club simulation, analyzing the impact of coaching styles and system implementation. It compares two coaches, Shilatani Hiroki and Mohammed Bad, and their approaches. Shilatani, who is proficient with the 451 system, shows significant growth in the team's first year using this formation, achieving better than expected results and team cohesion. However, in the second year, despite continued system training, the team's growth plateaus, suggesting a limit to player understanding or system effectiveness at a certain point. The page also contrasts excellent and less competent coaches through simulated matches. In direct confrontations, an excellent coach, Kessie, consistently outperforms a less competent coach, Pitanya, even when focusing on different aspects like tactics versus system implementation. Similarly, in system-based development, Shilatani Hiroki's team outperforms Mohammed's, who is less suited to the 451 system, demonstrating the importance of coach-system compatibility for optimal team growth and performance. The page includes match result tables comparing these coaches in Battle Coaching Club Confrontation and System Coaching Club Confrontation scenarios, illustrating the practical outcomes of different coaching approaches and system implementation. This guide provides strategies for selecting sponsors in a sports management simulation game, emphasizing their vital role in club finances. It differentiates between conditional sponsors, which offer high rewards but demand specific performance achievements, and no-condition sponsors, offering more stable but potentially lower payments. Examples of both types are provided, detailing contract specifics and conditions. The guide recommends prioritizing stability, especially early on. Securing high-value sponsors is key for club expansion. The guide also presents good or bad events that require decision-making, such as investing in hometown facility improvements, buying gifts for staff, and purchasing performance-enhancing sports drinks. These events impact club finances and player development, and must be evaluated carefully based on their costs and benefits. Sponsorships are crucial in J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru. For both revenue and club growth, the game features various sponsor types, including event-based options like Dream Machine and International Net Provider that boost popularity. Service management sponsors provide revenue and publicity through commercials. Players should also seek sponsors offering facility discounts to aid stadium and clubhouse upgrades. Highlighting player skills, such as Japanese talent, through events can attract sponsorships, even potentially partnering with entertainment agencies. The game presents choices with significant impacts. Opening a soccer school, acquiring skilled players, building a club tower, and having players selected for the national team are all presented as beneficial decisions. These choices enhance popularity, club performance, and overall success. This page is all about getting rich in your stadium management game. It's focused on efficiently increasing funds and stadium income using stadium facilities. The article highlights that upgrading stadium facilities is key to boosting profits, especially amusement facilities, which are the most profitable. It details how to increase revenue by strategically building and upgrading facilities like restaurants and fast food outlets. The page shows tables analyzing the profitability of various stadium facilities like amusement, restaurants, fast food, ramen shops, goods shops, ice cream shops, and coffee shops, ranking them by revenue and maintenance costs. It suggests that amusement facilities and restaurants are the top earners. The article also covers facility improvements and how upgrading them leads to increased profit margins. It gives examples of how upgrading ice cream shops and fast food restaurants significantly boosts their revenue. Finally, it mentions downloadable content available for the game, focusing on updated player data, suggesting you can download new player information to enhance your team. This page is all about cost-saving strategies for the Dreamcast game J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, also known as Saskatsuku. It's giving advice on how to minimize wasteful spending within the game. The article suggests various methods to cut costs, such as reducing supporter club operating expenses to zero, hiring excellent scouts only when absolutely necessary, and avoiding unnecessary gifts for the secretary. It emphasizes the importance of utilizing youth players to save money and investing in sports facilities to attract strong youth players to your club. Screenshots throughout the page display in-game menus and dialogues related to club management, player scouting, and financial decisions within Saskatsuku. There's also a mention of obtaining special player data by purchasing the game's music CD. This CD, titled J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru soundtrack, was released on November 21st, priced at 3,150 yen, and allowed players to download special content for the game. The article highlights that the CD contained very capable players and coaches to enhance club building and gameplay. This page is a strategy guide for the adventure game Revive Sosei, which was only released in Japan. The guide focuses on escaping traps and reaching the goal with the characters Yuzuki and Miyuki. It details the methods to solve two specific traps. Trap 1, unlocking the password lock in the reception room, and Trap 2, supplying power to the B12F elevator. For Trap 1, it instructs the player to use a card key to open the first floor shutter, obtain a hexagonal key from the infirmary, and use it with a panel in the reception room to get the password 5159 to unlock the door. For Trap 2, it explains how to get a computer circuit board from the storeroom and use it to repair a broken board in the control room to restore power to the elevator. The guide includes item locations and step-by-step instructions with in-game screenshots. This page is a strategy guide for an adventure game, possibly survival horror, focusing on puzzle solutions in a research facility setting. The guide provides step-by-step instructions for navigating areas like the Geological Research Lab, basement levels, and the Ecology Observation Room. It details how to solve various traps and cases involving item retrieval, key usage such as the Q key and small key, and panel puzzle manipulation. Puzzles include entering codes and using direction buttons on panels. The game's narrative hints at a reunion with a sister amidst mysterious events in the facility, possibly with time-sensitive elements indicated by time 3 o'clock. This walkthrough details how to solve 3 traps in a game, likely a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Trap 6 focuses on opening a shutter in the B2 basement generator room, Players must find a thin stick and pinch to retrieve a code from a waste disposal box. Trap 7 guides players to the second control room. It involves finding a briefcase, obtaining a sharp pencil, locating a red box, and using keys A and B obtained from the storeroom and freezer respectively. Trap 8 describes escaping the ecology observation room. Players need a Phillips screwdriver to examine under the floor near a water tank, but must avoid switching a specific switch to prevent electrocution. This guide details how to escape the Dreamcast game Revive Rebirth, focusing on reaching the facility's lowest level under a time limit due to toxic gas. The walkthrough explains opening the escape hatch, requiring specific item acquisition and actions. 6 endings are possible, including a death ending. Endings vary based on death event completion and saving the girls. A bad ending occurs if no girls are saved. Normal, gold, and true endings depend on specific events and points. The gold ending requires point accumulation, and the true ending hinges on fulfilling conditions tied to certain characters, altering initial events. Additionally, a CD drama, Portrait 2, is announced, with voice recording completed. Finally, a preview mentions a guide for Yuyake Ryu and a call for fan art submissions. This is a strategy guide for unlocking Yuno Tachibana's ending in the Dreamcast game, Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. The guide focuses on Yuno, a character who wants to overcome her perceived weakness. It details early game events, ending conditions, and gold events that must be completed within a specific time frame to trigger her ending. The core of the guide is a Yuno flowchart, a step-by-step walkthrough, including actions from entering the research lab, encountering Yuno in various locations, infirmary, B1 floor, etc., and specific event details. These include tasks like repairing a teddy bear, requiring finding sewing tools, and choosing how to treat her injury, and helping improve her relationship with Nao. The flowchart culminates in the Yuno Tachibana Alive event at the garage, representing her happy ending. This page is a game strategy guide for the Dreamcast title Revive. Susei, a Japanese adventure game that was not released internationally. The guide focuses on a character named Yuzuki and features a gold event walkthrough to progress the story with her. The guide is broken down into numbered steps, starting with 1. In front of the waste disposal plant. Hear Yuzuki's crying voice, and continues through various locations and events, such as 2. B1 floor, garage front, discover the dust chute, and 3. Nilix. Infiltrate from the dust chute. These steps detail actions the player should take to advance in the game and trigger specific events with Yuzuki. There is a life or death event section regarding Yuzuki and a dangerous wiring situation in a garage. The guide highlights crucial moments in the game and suggests actions to avoid bad outcomes, specifically mentioning that incorrect choices can lead to Yuzuki's death. The side events section lists additional events and scenarios, like 89 Yuzuki's strength and 1920 depressed Yuzuki 1 and 2, suggesting various storylines and character development paths. These side events add depth to Yuzuki's character and the overall game experience. The page includes screenshots of gameplay scenes and character portraits with dialogue boxes to visually illustrate the events and guide players through the game. The overall tone suggests a narrative-heavy adventure game with branching paths and character-focused storylines. This page is a strategy guide page for the Japanese Dreamcast game Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. It details the conditions to reach the ending with the character Misato Asakawa. The page explains that to reach Misato's ending, certain conditions must be met, such as acting with Misato, ensuring both Yumi and Misato are alive, and avoiding touching the offering when taking cards. It also highlights the importance of the death or alive events for Yumi and Misato. The page then provides a Misato flowchart, which appears to be a step-by-step guide through the game to achieve Misato's ending. It lists actions like entering the research lab, opening the garage door, opening the shutter where Misato is trapped, and various interactions and events throughout the game, including traps, encounters with other characters, and locations. Gameplay tips focus on a specific scenario where the player and Misato are together trying to solve a card puzzle, and advises the player not to touch the offering when retrieving cards to avoid failing a gold event. It also gives instructions on how to use a Senmai Toshi, 1000 layer pass, item to open a shutter, and how to avoid touching the office bag until getting the system disk. The page also emphasizes the importance of the death or alive status of both Misato and Yumi, stating that their survival is crucial for different endings, and encouraging players to help both characters. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Revolutionize, which was only released in Japan. The guide focuses on events centered around the character Misumi and how to trigger them within the game. The page is divided into sections detailing gold events, life and death events, and side events. The gold events section highlights how to uncover Misumi's true feelings behind her smile, involving tasks like fixing light bulbs in different locations and talking to her. The life and death event, titled Her Figure Beyond the Blazing Flames Time 5 o'clock, describes a scenario where Misumi is in danger due to a fire, giving the player a 5-minute time limit to rescue her by navigating through the power room and dealing with ducts and lockers. Several side events are listed, each with a time frame, 67, 1718, etc., and a brief description of the event involving Misumi and other characters like Kitajo and Kanda. These events range from being asked to run for office by Kitajo, Misumi seeing something unpleasant, finding Misumi injured or worried, to conversations about feelings and security issues. The guide also includes specific gameplay instructions for certain events, such as how to fix a shutter in the second control room and deal with security systems. This page is focused on strategy and tips for the game's super producers, specifically on how to create a chart-topping song. It emphasizes a long-term approach to singer development and contract negotiation. The guide suggests aiming for chart success within 3 years of gameplay. The page also details different tiers of singer development based on investment levels, ranging from 5 million to 100 million yen, each focusing on different promotional activities like live performances or CD sales. There's a section called World Audition Productions that lists various locations around the world such as Tokyo, Sapporo, Okinawa, Fukuoka, Hiroshima, Nagoya, Osaka, Takamatsu, Yokohama, Sendai, Niigata, New York, London, Sado Island, Jamaica, Germany, Brazil, and Hong Kong, each with a short description hinting at the type of singers or music scene associated with that location. For example, Tokyo Wonderful is described as having young men and women with diverse talents, while New York is labeled as the home of R&B and hip-hop, and Jamaica is described as the Mecca of reggae. The audition notes section gives advice on selecting singers during auditions, emphasizing the importance of motivation and imagination. The screenshots show in-game audition screens and gameplay elements, highlighting singer stats and contract options. Overall, the page is a strategy guide for players looking to master the singer production aspect of super producers and achieve #1 hits on the charts. The next page is a strategy guide for a producer simulation game, where you manage singers to reach the top of the showbiz world. The guide suggests that in the early stages of the game, avoid spending money on singers' makeup and focus on building up funds. It emphasizes the importance of the singer's motivation, warning that low motivation can lead to project failures and financial losses, especially in long-term events like dome concerts. To ensure successful live performances, the singer's experience is crucial, and it's advised to hold many live shows. Balancing ticket prices and venue size is also important to avoid losses. The guide then lists different venues, from street performances to domes, detailing their capacities, rental costs, stage equipment fees, and backup band expenses. The ideal venue for maximizing profits is suggested to be the medium-sized hall. Finally, it hints at an ending scenario where the produced song reaches #1 on the charts, suggesting this is the first ending to aim for in the game, and further challenges lie ahead. To achieve chart success in this music producer simulation, focus on strategic artist management. Identify trending genres for your singers, but avoid genre hopping with established artists. Initially, prioritize song releases over elaborate arrangements. Level up singers through activities like live performances to increase sales potential tied to their rank, rookie, seasoned, etc. Be cautious with repeat CD releases. Match production to demand. Managing multiple singers, each potentially specializing in a genre, can boost chart prospects but requires ample funding. Utilize tie-up promotions, such as songs and commercials, to significantly boost popularity. Pre-release live performances are also crucial for building name recognition. Finally, consider targeting the world charts for potentially substantial income with popular genres and artists. This guide outlines music creation within a game, emphasizing 6 key points. First, Utilize imagination points, influenced by the singer's imagination parameter when arranging. Second, select a bass song you enjoy, as key and tempo can be adjusted later. Third, understand that melodies are preset, determining the song's overall feel. Fourth, freely adjust tone and tempo to alter the music's character. Tone can be set per track. Fifth, utilize track freeze to silence individual tracks for balance adjustments. Finally, listen to the completed song and experiment with tempo. The guide aims to help users create compelling music within the game, hinting at potential for genre-bending music creation beyond the displayed genre. This page is a puzzle mode hint guide for Choo Choo Rocket, covering normal stages 1 to 20, offering tips for players who are stuck on certain levels. It's presented as a step-by-step walkthrough, with visual examples of each stage. The guide hints at strategies for navigating the maze-like levels, directing the choo-choos towards rockets while avoiding the cats. It gives specific advice, like using arrows strategically to guide groups of choo-choos, and handling situations with multiple groups and cats. It mentions limited edition versions of the game, with orange packaging and controller seal. It also highlights the online multiplayer aspect of Choo Choo Rocket, noting that it was popular for network battles and tournaments. This page is a comprehensive strategy guide for the Dreamcast puzzle game Choo Choo Rocket. The guide covers all 25 stages of the Stage Challenge mode, breaking them down into sections labeled Stage A to Fin, each with multiple substages. Stage A is titled Get the Mice, and focuses on guiding all the mice into the rocket within 30 seconds. Stage B, Escape from the Cats, requires players to lead the mice to the rocket while avoiding the cats. Cat's Lunchtime is Stage C, where the objective is to let the cat eat all the mice. Stage D, 100 Mice, challenges players to load 100 mice into the rocket within 30 seconds. Stage E is Cat Soccer, a competitive stage where players aim to put more cats into the opponent's rocket than their own. The final stage, Final Battle, is a showdown against the computer. Each stage section provides specific tips and strategies, often highlighting the use of arrows to direct the mice and cats. The guide emphasizes teamwork for two-player mode and details the clear conditions for each stage. It also mentions a time reduction challenge and hints that players can unlock KO, a character from Sonic Adventure, for use in the game by clearing all stages. Screenshots illustrate gameplay scenarios and arrow placements, offering visual aids to understand the strategies described. This page is a beginner's guide to mastering the Dreamcast game Gigawing. It explains the core scoring system, which revolves around reflecting enemy bullets and defeating enemies to earn medals, the key to high scores. The guide recommends using the character Carmine, highlighting his powerful shot, concentrated forward, and his speed, which makes it easier to collect medals. It advises that for score attack attempts, players should avoid using Normus bombs during normal gameplay, as mistakes reset the score multiplier to 0. For bosses in stages 1 through 4, the guide suggests maximizing score by using Reflect Force until the timer runs out, instead of defeating the boss quickly. A secret playable character, Stranger, is also revealed for the Dreamcast version, who uses a powerful piercing laser and boasts the fastest ship speed, making him ideal for high-score attempts and game clears. The guide emphasizes understanding stage layouts and enemy attack patterns to efficiently use Reflect Force and maximize scoring in Gigawing. This page from Dreamcast Magazine dives deep into Gigawing, a vertical scrolling shooter. It details effective strategies for using the Reflect Force system, crucial for both normal play and score attacks. The article explains how to maximize score by reflecting enemy bullets, especially at the bottom of the screen against larger enemies, and emphasizes overlapping with enemies after reflection to collect medals efficiently. There are tips on collecting hidden medals during gameplay, highlighting specific locations such as Stage 3's latter half after destroying a mirror-backed building, and Stage 4's midsection involving blue and red orbs, promising a 1 UP for collecting the large hidden medals in score attack mode. The page also showcases the Champion Ranking section, a record of high scores submitted by players for the Dreamcast version, revealing the top scores achieved. It notes that the #1 score was a massive 244 billion points. Character color selection is featured, explaining that the Dreamcast version offers 2 additional color variations for each pilot beyond the original arcade colors, giving players 3 options in total. Characters like Carmine and Vidutante and Rayleigh and Polka are specifically named. Finally, Internet ranking for Gigawing is mentioned, allowing players to compete in nationwide score rankings online, download content, and access leaderboards via the internet, expanding the game's competitive scene. This page is a strategy guide for Space Griffin, an action shooting game for the Dreamcast. The guide focuses on the fourth floor of the game and provides a flowchart to help players navigate it. The flowchart includes steps such as Floor 4 wall closure, South Area purge, Floor 7 briefing, and Floor 9 rescue mission. A floor map is provided, detailing the layout with symbols explained in a map key, such as E for enemy and EV for elevator. The guide advises players to be prepared for tough biomonsters on this floor, emphasizing the need for shields. It also mentions using an optical disc to obtain enemy data from the main terminal in the southwest, which helps in identifying enemy weaknesses. A goal on this floor is to rescue Maria, who is being held captive. The guide explains how to use the N3 gate to proceed to the 5th floor after completing the rescue mission. This Space Griffon VFX strategy guide details walkthroughs for Factory Zone's 5th and 9th floors. On the 5th floor, with Maria in the Factory Zone explosion, players must collect Maria's repair parts, PTC, RHS, TSM, explode the Factory Zone using plastic bombs placed at points 11 to 13, password 77,986, and defeat biomonsters. On the 9th floor, players must first meet Oleg. Meeting Oleg before the elevator, after taking an elevator from the 5th floor to encounter enemy mobile weapons. Sidestepping and attacking their weaknesses is recommended. Next, players Maria and Oleg rescue Smiley. Rescue Smiley with 3 people, however. A rockfall blocks the path at point 12, making retreat impossible. The guide advises gathering items and data before reaching point 13, where Smiley is located, triggering an event. The story then moves to the 7th and 6th floors. The Miss Idol Custody Contest for the Dreamcast game, Idol Janshi Otsuku Chao. Let's make an idol mahjong player, announced its winners. The contest, judged by Kanai Mika's Q-Day radio show members and Jaleco staff, saw 102 entries. Grand prize winner Agoi Shiraishi's Clea design, praised for its childlike appearance and giant milky quality, stood out. Other winners included Shu Kubota, Mika Kanai Award, Tomoyuki Kiyomizu, Tomokazu Seki Award, and Tomoki Shimura, Meigeki Yoko Award. Additionally, special Clea Alpha, Beta, and Gamma prizes were awarded to Katsuyo Ashidate, Yoshinori Takei, and Kazuto Iki respectively. All winners received signed autographs in the SEF. The contest organizers thanked all participants, highlighting that the special prizes were for Dreamcast Magazine readers. This page showcases the results of the 102-person Dreamcast Claire Design Contest. 3 main winners are highlighted with their designs and judges' comments. The Jaleco Prize winner is Mitsuhashi Tokiko from Gunma Prefecture, praised for her illustration-like manga style, which is detailed and fun. The Miss Idol Prize goes to Popcorn Kun from Chiba Prefecture, whose unique design is themed around food items like curry and rice, surprising the judges with its originality. The Dream Magazine Prize is awarded to Nakazato Kyoko-kun from Tochigi Prefecture, commended for her standard yet charming and cute design with expressive qualities. Judges' overall comments celebrate the variety of entries and the engaging nature of the Searchy series, which seems to be the magazine's mascot theme. Additionally, there's a section about a special gift for buyers of the limited edition Sega Saturn version related to My Huracan, featuring figures and the voice actor. A Mahjong tournament prize section mentions Searchy lighters and other goods. The teacher's comment focuses on the Dream Magazine winner's designs, shoe color coordination, and chest size in a light-hearted manner. The top prize for the winners is an original illustration by Mr. Sonoda Kenichi. This page details information about the Guru Guru Onsen online game community and related events in Dreamcast Magazine. It highlights ongoing network tournaments for Guru Guru Onsen since October, with weekly competitions, and encourages players to check the official homepage for rules. A ranking table of players in a recent tournament is displayed. The page promotes a special event hosted by Dorimaga Onsen, featuring voice actress Chiyako Senba for online chatting. It also announces a live music event, Seiko First Live, on November 28th at Shibuya Eggman, with ticket and contact information. There is a call for song lyrics for Guru Guru Onsen, requested by producer and section chief Uryuryu for in-game background music. Finally, it encourages readers to join the Dorimaga Onsen Association and lists planned activities including game tournaments, chats with idols and voice actors, official chat phrases and emoticons, and opportunities to have user information published in Dorimaga. Ohara's diary column reflects on the development of Guru Guru Onsen and its concept of relaxation and fun. This page showcases Sunrise Robot CG World, featuring the FTA Desert Guider from the Armored Trooper Votom's G-Breaker series. It details the FTA Desert Guider, a flying trooper assault-type robot, and its pilot, Kiriko QV. The page highlights the robot's characteristics as a 5-meter-tall machine designed for city and mountain combat scenarios, emphasizing its high firepower, mobility, and close-quarters combat capabilities. It's mentioned that despite being small, it possesses immense power and excels in urban and jungle environments. The data section lists the robot's name, height, weight, unknown, weaponry, including an assault rifle, multi-missile launchers, and slash pile, pilot, Kiriko Kuvi, and notes its compactness and stealth capabilities within the FT series. The page also includes a website address. This page is from Namco vs Development Department Public Recognition page, Volume 9, and is showcasing Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast. It's unveiling confidential material related to the opening movie of the game. This is Part 1 of the reveal and includes developer commentary. The page displays storyboard panels, numbered from 1 to 15, showing the progression of the opening movie's concept. Commentary is provided, explaining the design process, aiming for a real-time opening within the Dreamcast's capabilities. They discuss the challenges of creating a movie-like opening and the intention to showcase the weapon-based combat in Soul Calibur, connecting it to the previous title, Soul Edge. There's also an announcement for a game tournament big event hold, featuring Tekken Tag Tournament, mentioning media coverage and player participation in pair play tournaments. The event is scheduled for November 14, 1999, at Playmax Shinjuku. Finally, there is a section seeking reader submissions of color illustrations, etc. related to Dreamcast Soul Calibur, offering Namco goods as prizes for those selected for publication. They specify that illustrations can be in CG or hand-drawn, postcard size being preferred. This page is titled Neo-Mi Group Birth List and showcases a list of games available on the Sega Neo-Mi arcade system as of November 12, 1999. Many of these titles are confirmed or expected to be ported to the Dreamcast. The list includes games like The House of the Dead 2, already ported to Dreamcast, and Power Stone, also a confirmed Dreamcast port. Crazy Taxi is listed as currently being ported to Dreamcast, with an expected release in January 2000. Zombie Revenge and Cyber Angel Mahjong Shangri-La are also undergoing Dreamcast ports, expected in November 1999. Virtua Striker 2 Ver.2000 is also being ported with a December 1999 target. F355 Challenge is mentioned as being compatible with the VM Visual Memory Unit and related to the Shenmue Passport. Other games listed include Airline Pilots, Giant Graham, All Japan Pro Wrestling 2 in Nippon Budokan, Ring Out 4x4, Touch de Uno, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai 2i, a Dreamcast original game set for September 1999 release, Jumbo, Safari, Toy Fighter, Dead or Alive 2, Derby Owners Club, and Outrigger. Upcoming and unreleased titles include Dynamite Baseball 99, Sega Tetris, Puyo Puyo DA, featuring Elena System, Spawn, In the Demon's Hand, The Typing of the Dead, Samba de Amigo, and SNK vs. Capcom. Boat Race Ocean Heats is also mentioned as a metal game. Screenshots of Outrigger and Jumbo Safari are visible on the page. This page delves into the intricacies of wall hits in Dead or Alive 2, a fighting game for Dreamcast. It explains how hitting opponents into walls increases damage and creates opportunities for further attacks. The page clarifies the mechanics of wall hits, detailing damage escalation when a character is slammed into a wall, the wall breaks, and the character hits the ground after the wall break. The page also provides advice on what to do after hitting an opponent into a wall, suggesting actions like quick recovery moves to gain an advantage. Furthermore, the page highlights special attacks for 3 characters: Hayabusa, Elena, and Ayan. Each character's unique attack style is briefly described, accompanied by in-game screenshots showcasing these moves. For Hayabusa, it is a reverse standing kick, for Elena a low stance attack, and for Ayan a back-facing attack. Finally, The page explains the notation used for command inputs in the game, clarifying the button inputs like punch, P, kick, K, and guard, G, and directional inputs. It also explains the judgment system of attacks, high, mid, low, and damage conventions in the game. This page details move lists for the characters Kasumi and Hayabusa from Dead or Alive 2. Kasumi's section is titled Mist Phantom Style Heavenly True Martial Arts, Heavenly Divine Gate, and Hayabusa's is Falcon Style Ninjutsu. The page lists various moves for each character, with their command inputs, judge level, and damage values. There's also a love message section, which expresses admiration for Kasumi's cuteness and encourages players to clear the story mode, implying it was designed with Kasumi in mind. A DOA2 coffee break section describes special techniques for Kasumi, focusing on wake-up attacks and unique moves like the Moon Shadow Foot. It also mentions Hayabusa's strengths are in throws and holding attacks, and suggests using the rice scoop drop throw. This page features character profiles and move lists for Genfu and Elena from Dead or Alive 2. Genfu's section details his Shinyi Liuhe Quan style, highlighting his diverse moves and damage values. Elena's section focuses on her Pigwa Quan style, with similar move details and damage. There are screenshots showcasing gameplay action. The DOA2 coffee break section seems to be offering tips or insights into gameplay mechanics. The next page showcases character information for Dead or Alive 2, focusing on the wrestler characters Tina and Bass. For each character, there's a portrait and a detailed move list, including the command inputs, hit level, and damage values for each move. It seems to be highlighting their wrestling styles with move names like German Suplex and Frankensteiner in Japanese. There are also gameplay tips under a section called DOA2 Coffee Break, explaining how to effectively crouch and use throws. The next page showcases character profiles and move lists for Zack and Leon in Dead or Alive 2. Zack is described as using a self-taught Muay Thai style, and his move list details various kicks, punches, and throws. Leon is described as using Command Sambo, and his move list similarly details his combat techniques. The page also includes DOR2 coffee break sections, offering gameplay tips, specifically about using the hold button to break combinations and exploit timing in Dead or Alive 2. The descriptions emphasize the characters' fighting styles and strategic elements of the game. This page is a character guide page from a magazine, focusing on the characters Jan Li and Lei Fang from Dead or Alive 2. It showcases move lists for both characters, detailing the move names, commands, hit level, and damage values. There are also developer messages giving insights into the characters and gameplay tips for Dead or Alive 2's hold system. The page emphasizes the strategic elements of the game and encourages players to explore different techniques and combos. The next page features character profiles and move lists for Aion and Ain from Dead or Alive 2. For Aion, it lists various moves categorized into standard attacks, throws, and special techniques, along with their commands, judgment, and damage values. There's also a section explaining back attacks for Aion. The page provides tips on using Aion's back-facing techniques and her move Mugenro for offense and defense. For Aion, the page similarly lists moves in categories, commands, judgment, and damage. Tips are given on Aion's fighting style, focusing on counter hits and combos. It mentions using moves like Katate Tsukomi and Rentai Renko to pressure opponents and create openings. There are also notes about throws and the importance of understanding opponents' movements when using Eishin. The page also includes a section on Ukemi, breakfalls, mechanics in Dead or Alive 2, explaining how to recover from knockdown attacks using specific button combinations at the right timing. This section also advises players to observe their opponent's actions after a knockdown to decide whether to attempt an Ukemi or not. This page is a guide for the game Outrigger, focusing on weapon tactics and combo techniques. It highlights the proper usage of the three main weapon types in the game. The page details the rocket launcher, emphasizing its high power and explosive radius, making it effective in tight spaces and against enemies behind cover. It notes that the projectile speed is slow, requiring players to anticipate enemy movements. Next, it discusses the machine gun, highlighting its rapid fire rate and unlimited ammo, making it ideal for sustained attacks. However, it mentions the weapon's lower power and the time needed to reload, urging players to be mindful of reloading times during combat. The guide then covers hand grenades, describing them as versatile weapons with diverse applications. It mentions that grenades follow a trajectory when thrown and have a short throwing range. The guide explains that aiming upwards increases range, and throwing downwards causes them to roll. It emphasizes the importance of mastering grenade control for effective use and dealing damage.
The page includes a section titled, Why Self-Destruct, which explains that self-destruction in Outrigger often occurs when players are caught in the blast radius of their own rocket launcher or hand grenades. It advises players to be aware of their surroundings and enemy positions to avoid accidental self-inflicted damage from explosive weapons. Several screenshots showcase gameplay action, demonstrating the weapon types in use and providing visual context for the tactical advice being given. This page is focused on providing combat tactics for the game Outrigger. The first technique explained is using the blast from rocket launchers effectively by aiming at the enemy's feet, as the explosion can still cause damage even if a direct hit is missed. Utilizing walls and ceilings for indirect attacks is also highlighted, especially in enclosed spaces. The second technique is about using grenades to block enemy retreat routes, forcing them into predictable paths. Throwing grenades in areas to reveal enemy positions is also mentioned as a way to gain a tactical advantage.
Finally, the page explains how damage is indicated in Outrigger and Rage. When you hit an enemy, words appear on the marker to show the damage dealt. Ow means damage is under 50. Yikes is damage between 50 and 100. Darn is damage between 100 and 150. Oof is damage over 150. And ARG appears when you defeat an enemy. Understanding these indicators allows players to adjust their attack strategies effectively. This Outrigger skills guide focuses on weapon combinations for the Dreamcast game. 3 core combos are highlighted. Combo 1. 2 rocket launcher shots, aiming the second to counter sidesteps. Combo 2. Rocket launcher followed by machine gun to finish weakened enemies. Combo 3. Grenade followed by a rocket launcher for a potentially instant kill. To optimize combos, Outrigger, check it, advises holding the trigger while switching weapons for immediate firing. The Skills Squad Diary indicates a possible release delay, perhaps due to the Taiwan earthquake impacting arcades, but promises future updates, including map strategies and further skill explanations. This page is a game guide for the Dreamcast game Jambo Safari. The page is titled Mutsu Ogasawara's Direct Instruction. Jambo Safari Mote Strategy, suggesting it will teach players how to be popular with girls, Mote, while playing the game. The page features photos of Mutsu Ogasawara, presumably a personality or game expert, playing the game at an arcade cabinet. The guide highlights 3 Mote courses, or playstyles, to appeal to girls. Course 1 focuses on capturing popular animals to impress girls. Course 2 is about clearing the game quickly to show skill. And Course 3 encourages adventurous and masculine gameplay. It details Expert Mode Stage 1 routes, with a map showcasing different paths through the safari park, including locations like a mega event, elephant, zebra, giraffe, cheetah, hippopotamus, gazelle, ostrich, hyena, okapi, and monkey event. Each Mote course has a difficulty rating. Course 1 is B, Course 2 is C, and Course 3 is A. The text emphasizes that these courses are designed to help players become Mote, indicating that the game has an element of appealing to girls within its gameplay or presentation. This page is a preview for Jambo Safari Animal Rescue, detailing the expert mode featuring various animals. The page outlines 3 Mote courses and a boss stage. Mote Course 1 focuses on increasing the likability of the hyena by catching zebras, cheetahs, and participating in village events to catch hyenas. Mote Course 2 is about concentrating on catching shabby animals, such as zebras, giraffes, and appropriately gazelles and hyenas. The objective is to catch animals with 4 or more stars. Mote Course 3 is described as the most difficult place to catch okapi. It involves a glasses event, catching Xers, likely another animal in the game, a village event, and finally catching okapi. The boss stage involves catching a white rhino. It suggests catching small rhinos for quick clears, or aiming for larger boss rhinos for higher scores and coolness points. The right side panel introduces animals appearing in expert mode, with star rankings and gameplay tips for catching them. Ogurognu, black rhino, hyena, female lion, male lion, African elephant, black leopard, and okapi. This page introduces Emergency Call Ambulance, a Sega arcade game where players take on the role of ambulance paramedics. The game involves picking up injured people and rushing them to the hospital before their health runs out. The page highlights a unique hidden feature called Stretcher Run, where players can play the game using just the stretcher instead of the ambulance. To activate this, players need to input a specific command on the mission select screen. The page mentions that despite using a stretcher, the movement capabilities are the same as the ambulance. The page also details different bonus types players can earn in the game when clearing stages. These bonuses depend on the player's performance and add to the final score. The bonuses are no damage, awarded for completing a stage without taking any damage from collisions or accidents. Stable, earned for maintaining a stable condition display in the operation window for a long time during gameplay. Brave, triggered by jumping on slopes or similar terrains, rewarding players based on the time the tires are off the ground. Special, awarded for passing through specific locations set within each stage. Secret, a rare bonus with unclear conditions, appearing roughly once in every 60 seconds of gameplay during each stage. This guide provides strategies for the 4 stages of Emergency Call Ambulance. Stage 1 focuses on highway and city driving, emphasizing controlled speed, careful cornering, and a bonus for driving between billboards in a park. Stage 2 navigates an evening cityscape, advising on traffic lights, tunnels, and avoiding patrol cars, with a bonus near a left corner. Stage 3, set at night, stresses visibility and features challenging turns, shortcuts between burning buildings, and tunnel hazards, with a gas station bonus. Stage 4 presents a complex course with high stakes, highlighting the importance of health points, precise maneuvers through hairpin turns and narrow passages, and a bonus for navigating falling debris, but warns of potential damage. This page is a manga comic strip titled God World Evolution D Bonus Episode 7 by Satoshi Ueda. It features characters from the Dreamcast game Evolution, the world of Sacred Device. The comic depicts a humorous scene where Linear Cannon is sleeping in a messy room. Mag Launcher enters and tries to wake her up, commenting on the untidy state of her room. Linear seems tired from drinking too much the previous day and doesn't want to get up. Mag playfully criticizes her and eventually gets her up. The final panel shows Linear dressed up and ready to go out, looking pleased, and Mag finds her cute. Character introductions on the left side describe Pepperbox as a cheerful and energetic adventurer who uses dynamites as weapons. Mag Launcher, the protagonist, as a young man who aims to become a great adventurer from the Launcher family, and Liner Cannon as a girl from the Cannon family, with special abilities using flowers and plants, who is considered to be about 17 years old. This page is a horoscope section called Dreamcastrology, presenting weekly horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs from Aries to Pisces, covering aspects like money, health, love, and work luck. It also includes advice for each sign and a Lucky Person of the Week section, mentioning the game Sakura Wars 2 and someone born on November 16th. Dreamcast Magazine is offering readers a chance to win prizes in 5 categories. First prize includes the J-League Pro Soccer Club Strategy Guide and Game. 20 winners can choose a Dreamcast game released by November 26, 1999, for the second prize. The third prize is a Soul Calibur cover art telecard, awarded to 20 winners. 10 readers will receive a Dreamcast Magazine logo phone strap, while another 10 will get a Dreamcast logo t-shirt, size M''d. To enter, readers must complete a questionnaire postcard by November 25th. The magazine also previews upcoming content, including features on Sakura Wars, and teases information on numerous other upcoming Dreamcast games. Contact information is provided for inquiries. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Vermilion Desert, a team battle simulation role-playing game. The advert features artwork of a heavily armored soldier and a male character in military attire. The game is scheduled for release on December 2nd, with a standard price of 5,800 yen, excluding tax. The advertisement also includes the River Hill Soft and Dreamcast logos, along with the company's URL. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Bang-I-O, released internationally with the same title. The page features a large image of the iconic blue and white mecha from the game holding a watermelon, showcasing its chaotic and over-the-top action. Below the main image and above character portraits, the text emphasizes the game's core gameplay of smash it, break it, thrilling. The advertisement highlights that the game is available in stores from December 9th for 5,800 yen. There are also manga panels at the top depicting the game's character and humor, alongside screenshots of the explosive gameplay that Bangai-O is known for, showing intense bullet hell action. Character portraits are displayed at the bottom of the page. The page also includes logos for developers, treasure and publisher especially, and website addresses for more information.